gold.
The new premier of Australia's Queensland state announcing a new stadium will be built for the 2032 Summer Olympics, 4 years after Olympic organizers selected the venue.
The stadium will host the opening and closing ceremonies and the athletics. There'll also be a new aquatic centre. The Premier of the state of Queensland, David Crisafulli, said the venues would leave a lasting legacy instead of wasting money on temporary facilities. He apologised for opposing a new stadium before being elected state premier last year. In Brisbane, as in previous Olympic cities, the cost of hosting the Games and what happens to the venues afterwards can be a controversial issue.
The BBC's Mickey Bristow. 5 traumatized lions rescued from the war zone in Ukraine settling into a new home in England after an international effort to bring them to safety. A male African lion and 3 females arrived this month at the Big Cat Sanctuary southeast of London. Townhall.com. Speaker Mike Johnson would not commit Monday to allowing a floor vote on legislation that would fix the funding shortfall for the District of Columbia.
Stay tuned. I'm not sure yet, is what Johnson told reporters on whether he would bring up the Senate-passed bill, which would restore.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Yes, indeed.
It's Tuesday indeed, isn't it? Already sunny and nice out.
Yeah.
Looks quite pleasant out there right now.
I'd say the best we could hope for on a Tuesday.
Yeah. 48. It's a little sweater weather at the moment.
A light sweater. Do the New Mexico thing, dress in layers.
Yeah.
It's going to get warm today.
Yeah, we're pushing 90. It's 88 is our high today.
Sheesh. What happened to just warm?
Well,
like just nice.
In all fairness, like today's that day. And the rest of the week it kind of, because we're like 82 tomorrow. And then Thursday we're going to drop down all the way to 77. And then back up to 86 for Friday. And then we're going to like 84-ish, 82-ish for the weekend.
So hovering in the mid to upper 80s pretty much.
That's our spring.
Mm-hmm.
In fairness.
Yeah, I guess that is right.
that's our spring.
It's just it when it feels a bit warm for a frolic, it's not. It just ain't right.
Yeah, it's a indoor frolic.
Yeah. And last week I saw an event that was happening in, I think it was Nebraska in Omaha.
Yeah.
And they had like a foot of snow on the ground.
Wow.
I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah, I did see a couple places where I'm like, we're enjoying it. And I was like, oh yeah, we're in New Mexico.
Mm-hmm. I'm in board shorts over here and you're in a parka.
Yeah. But then I was like, I had a high school friend. He goes to Disney World a lot.
Does he have kids?
Yes.
Okay. I was going to say, because that could really say something about who you are as a person, whether or not you have kids.
Yes,
right.
He does. Granny's my age.
Mm-hmm. You say that like it's weird, like it's an off-putting thing. I'm nearly your age, Mike, and I have a 2-scale wrestling ring in my office.
I got a solid 10 years on you. That's a big difference in that world.
It's like when you're in high school. 2 years seems like a massive gap. Nowadays, like 6 or 7. It's like
yeah. But when you're talking about having kids, that's a bigger gap. In that ballpark. But
does he have kids that are still kids?
Well, yes.
Okay.
But no.
But not
he actually
full-grown
has
adult
special
children.
needs. He has special needs, I think, adult child. I don't know for certain on there. So, but anyway, he goes to Disney World a lot.
Gotcha.
And so last week he was in Disney World, and I guess it was like a rain. Like every day the pictures looked like, now granted, like 50s cold, not like cold like our cold or someone else's cold. But and just the pictures look like 50s and kind of rainy and overcast all week. I'm thinking, what a delightful week. But I'm thinking if I'm going to be in Florida all week,
It's a delightful week, except for the fact that he spent probably $250 every day to be there.
They probably. I'm going to take a stab as the frequency in which he's there. I'm sure he gets a lot of comp things and reward points.
I wonder about that because, like, I see, like adults of Disney on like Facebook and stuff. I'm like, how do you guys afford to go 7 or 8 times? I mean, I know year passes and stuff.
Yeah, but I think the more you spend, the more free stuff you get, like anything else in this world. So I think if you join their I'm sure they have some kind of rewards programs and things, and you come 3 times and get your 4th time free or whatever, something, you know what I mean? Things like that.
Punch card or something like that.
It's kind of like, or maybe he has like a Visa card that just has some crazy Disney points or something every time he buys stuff. And
that's,
if you put everything on it, next thing you get a trip to Disney. Maybe it's not like that. I don't know.
And that's the other thing. I have a friend of mine's kid and her husband who have 2 infant children. I mean, we're talking like one is 2, I think, and they just had their other one. And they've already taken their youngest to Disney like twice, and they're planning another trip once the newborn gets to be like 3 months or so.
Okay.
There is no point in taking your children to Disney World unless they are old enough to remember the experience.
Yeah.
In my personal opinion. It really, you're wasting money.
When my parents, I think I've explained this on the air before. I was alive when my parents got married.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my father adopted me when I was 4. I'm sure I've said all this before. But anyway, so in 1978, when my parents got married, I was 4 years old.
Okay.
5 years old. 4 to 5, somewhere in that ballpark.
45.
Yeah. And they went to Disney World for their honeymoon. And as a 5-year-old boy, knowing that they're going to Disney World,
right?
I was salty as could be.
I can imagine. Yeah, that would
salty.
That would stick in your craw.
And I remember the thing to this day was when they took their pictures and came back, saw all the pictures. And the thing that the biggest grudge I held for probably well into my teens.
I just let go of this last week.
I just let go. Was that they got to meet and hang out with Herbie the Love Bug.
Oh.
Because at that time he was very popular and he was in the parades and everything in Disney World and all that. And I'm seeing pictures like, y'all met Herbie? What do you say?
It's beautiful that to this day, a man in your 50s, you still say met Herbie the Love Bug. It's awesome.
Yep.
When I want to say probably like 10 days old, my dad had just won through his work a trip to Gulf World in Florida.
Gulf World.
Right
next to Gator World.
So apparently they took me along with them, and I've seen pictures, but from what I gathered, there was a lovely Jamaican lady that was there that basically took care of me the whole time.
Nice.
My parents went off and did their thing. They just left me with a random Jamaican lady. I think they knew her. I don't know.
We'll see.
I mean, I feel like I turned out fine. Yeah. My mom just said, "Oh, she was just the nicest little Jamaican lady," and she always makes sure to say Jamaican lady.
Right.
It's like, Mom, you could just say lady.
And peel back the curtain, like your mom and your dad seem like 2 different ends of the spectrum type people.
Mm-hmm.
Like your dad is seemed like very,
straight-laced, by the books.
Yeah, kind of, or that military pro this. And your mom is like, was she a hippie?
She a bit of a hippie, yeah.
Yes, I mean she's all about the like her day, like her life today is very country, living with pigs and liking that. That's her.
I'll
lifestyle.
put it this way, and she's told this. My mom has told this story multiple times.
Yeah.
When her and my father got together,
yeah,
she was after his friend.
Oh.
She was trying to get with his friend, but my dad was the consolation prize, I guess. And here I am.
All turned out well. Yeah,
I'm fine with it.
So it was kind of, they're like Donnie Marie, a little country, a little rock and roll. So yeah, I can see that.
I would have gone with a little hippie and a little giant a-hole, but
that's not Donnie Marie. I got to mention, I'll give the rundown here in a minute, but I want to recommend for folks, if you like kind of on Hulu, It's on History Channel, the show, and it's one of these. You know how History Channel does their shows, Ben Who Built America, those and all that.
Yeah.
And they have all different ones. Well, they have a show on there, and I just saw it on Hulu, and they've got like 10 episodes of it. It's called The Unbelievable with Dan Aykroyd.
Okay. Dan's a little out there to begin with.
And this series is a little out there.
Okay.
But I highly recommend it. I've only watched like 4 of the episodes, but I was watching episode 4. And each episode has a theme. Like, one's like weird deaths. One's like weird locations. One's like, well, I watched the one last night called Weird Weapons.
Okay.
And I gotta, next time we talk to John LeMay, I gotta get him in here. Because they had some doozies in there. And there's one that, New Mexico.
Now, these are historical weapons?
Oh, this is factual stuff.
Okay,
Stuff
okay.
that actually happened. That's why it's the unbelievable. This stuff's real. Like the one episode's the weird bodies, and that's like all like the Robert Wadlow, the tallest man, the shortest, and those things. And so each one's focused. They got some, but every one of these episodes got fascinating things. But the weird weapons one, so it kind of transitioned at first. They're talking about how the Brits had come up with this way to make rat bombs. And so they would take dead rats.
Okay.
And they would fill the rat with an incendiary. Sew it back up. And then they would hide said dead rats in the coal piles that the Germans would use to fill their, and then they'd throw them in there.
Wow.
So
that's crazy.
That was the concept. It was enacted. This one was actually a major success and a major failure at the same time.
Okay.
It was a failure in which the Germans caught wind of this, and these rat bombs were out there. So one never actually got out there and exploded.
Mm-hmm.
However, because of that, literally the Germans were uber rat crazy, going through and just drove them nuts. Without one single bomb ever being out there, literally had them so neurotic about it that other animals, they see other animals, they think, they're planted with bombs and all. So it
planted a seed in their head.
It turned into a subterfuge thing.
Yeah.
But
that's a psychological weapon.
Yeah. But that transitioned into another plot by the Americans to use animal warfare. Some doctor was walking around the caves in Carlsbad.
Okay.
Saw the bats.
I was going to say, I have a feeling I know where this is going.
And said, got an idea. What if we flew these bats, like collect them, flew them, put strap bombs on them, and flew them into over
kamikaze
the town,
bats?
And they would come, and this doctor had some influence with Eleanor Roosevelt.
Okay.
So he got in her ear, and they greenlit this program to do this. It started with the Air Force. And they used Carlsbad Caverns, and they set up Carlsbad base. I don't know if they're talking about Walker or RAF, Roswell Army Airfield here. I said RAF, I meant but not British. Roswell Army Airfield. I'm not. They set a Carlsbad base in the show. And this is where I want to get John LeMay into this,
right?
Because I'm sure he's got some knowledge on this story. But so they basically extracted a bunch of bats out of Carlsbad Caverns, and then stored them in a facility there that they said was the Carlsbad base. Now, what they did was they strapped basically these little backpack deals with napalm.
Wow.
Okay? And I guess they did this I guess they found if you lower the temperature of the bats, they go into like this hibernation mode. And so here's the plan.
It's the same way you deal with alligators.
Yeah, so you hibernate them out. You strap them up with these napalm backpack jobbers. Mm-hmm. They load them into a bomb canister. They load them up into an aircraft, a bomber. Keep them at this cool temperature. And then they fly over said place they want to unleash these suckers. Drop the bomb. The bomb opens up. As they're falling, they're going to wake up from their nappy nap. Mm-hmm. Fly in, settle in, roost into the buildings and all that. And then at the detonator time, all that napalm's going to go and just create havoc. So, in the story here, they get to this idea and they said, okay, well, first they do a test run here in our neck of the woods, and they don't strap the bats out. They don't strap the bats up. They just send them up to see if this works. And it works. They go and the bats and they fly and like, hey, this is great. So the general gets a little ambitious and straps 6 of the pigeons with the, or not pigeons, bats with the
backpacks.
With the backpacks. Well, as they were putting them in the thing and all that, they started waking up.
Oh, no.
And they flew all over the base. And then...
Oh, my God. They air bombed themselves.
Yes.
Nice.
So after that, the Air Force dumped the project.
I can imagine.
The Navy picked it up for a minute, and they dumped it. And then the Army, and then I think the Marines ended up getting it, and then they moved it, and they started doing a little more with it, and then the project died. But it all started
I really hope it was called Operation Dark Knight.
So that's one of the stories in this series with Dan Aykroyd.
I'm genuinely
highly
curious.
recommend you check it out.
Go
It's
check
on
that out.
Hulu. It's also a History Channel show as well. Let me give you a lay rundown for today's show. We're going to replay our interview we had yesterday with the folks from the Chavez County Health Council. Rick Lamb and Rebecca Kobos joined us talking about the Veterans Symposium that's happening this Saturday out at Eastern New Mexico State Fairgrounds. In the 8 o'clock hour, we'll have Mark Green with Harvest Ministries join us. Give a little update there. They're always looking for volunteers, but just give us an update what they've what progress they've made over since the last time we spoke. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, we'll have Roswell Police Department join us. I won't be the police chief or one of his other officers, but will join us and have a conversation with the police department here. Always enjoy those conversations. So we'll have that at 9:15. Plus, we will have all of your features, news, local, national, variety, Wall Street business updates, sports, and whatever else we can come up with for today's show. But first, your weather. Pretty pleasant. Maybe some moisture on Thursday.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things are looking pretty good today. Very warm. We'll be in the mid to upper 80s. High pressure parked over our area for now, so we should get sunshine, and the wind will stay fairly light. It'll be clear for the overnight hours. Our low in the upper 40s to low 50s. We do have a quick low pressure system moving through the area on Wednesday, so we'll get a mix of sunshine and clouds, maybe a shower or two, and our high around 80. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 48 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 37%. Winds currently out of the west at 3 miles per hour. Warm today, 88 and sunny with northwest winds at around 5 miles per hour. Tonight, skies will be clear. Expect an overnight low of 49 degrees. Southeast winds at around 5 miles per hour. For your Wednesday, partly cloudy with a high of 82. North winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday night, we are looking at a 30% chance at some showers and thunderstorms, mainly before midnight. Mostly cloudy, overnight low of 55 degrees, south winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday, there is a 40% chance at showers. Showers early, then showers and thunderstorms for the afternoon. Mostly cloudy for the day, high of 77, south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy Thursday night, overnight low of 50. Sunny and 86 for your Friday, and then looking at the weekend, mostly sunny and 84 for Saturday, sunny and 81 for Sunday. All right, 7:23, we're going to take a 4-minute break. We'll get you into your Roswell Livestock Report recap with Smiley Wooten as well, and then we'll play our interview with the folks from the Health Council. Don't go away.
At Richland Motors, it's never been easier to sell or trade your current car, truck, or SUV for a newer model to hit the road in. Even if you don't purchase from Richland, they want to buy your vehicle for top dollar. But if you do buy from Richland, don't forget, they're the home of the powertrain warranty for life. That's a whole lot of confidence for you. See Richland for details, 2nd and Sycamore, and 1309 Southeast Main.
Hi, everyone. This is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture. When was the last time you looked forward to sleep? Let's be honest here, you know a restful night's sleep has more health benefits than you consciously think about during the day. Here at Glenn's, we carry Serta mattresses, and they've been in the business for more than 90 years. Choosing one can be hard, but I want you to know we have your back. Come see us at Glenn's on the corner of Union and Alameda in Roswell, where delivery is free since 1953.
In a medical emergency, every second counts. Artesia General Hospital's emergency department is open 24/7, staffed with highly trained professionals ready to provide life-saving care when you need it most. Don't wait. When minutes matter, trust Artesia General Hospital. Quality emergency care close to home. Learn more at artesiageneral.com.
Whether you're a homeowner, a landscaper, or a contractor, we all have reasons to dig. If you're planning to dig, this is just a friendly reminder that locating underground utilities is important. It's actually the law. Call 811 3 days before you dig. New Mexico Gas Company is one of the utilities that will come out free of charge to mark our underground lines up to the meter, so you'll know what's below. We're New Mexico Gas Company, and our priority is keeping you safe. That's why we're here. Learn more at nmgco.com.
Artesia Rodeo Days is heading to the Artesia Horse Council Arena at the Eddy County Fairgrounds March 27th, 28th, and 29th. Gates open at 6 p.m. and the rodeo begins at 7:30 nightly. Enjoy front row family fun, a calf scramble for the kids, trick riding, the rankest bulls and broncos on the circuit, as well as full concessions, food trucks, and vendors, and New Mexico's own Blackcock Brewery on site. Help them pack the house every night at the upcoming Artesia Rodeo Days, coming to the Artesia Horse Council Arena at the Eddy County Fairgrounds March 27th, 28th, and 29th. Gates open at 6 p.m. Rodeo starts at 7:30 nightly. Thank you to sponsors KC Light Towers, Amigo Machinery in Roswell, Benny's Western Store in Artesia, and Tape Branch Artesia. Early bird tickets are only $10 and available in Artesia at Benny's Western Store and Tape Branch, in Roswell at Amigo Machinery, and in Carlsbad at Forest Tire. Gate tickets will be $15, or you can find them online at rodeoticket.com. Ad paid for by Artesia Lodgers Tax.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. 1,101 head of cattle sold on Monday on a steady to slightly higher market with excellent buyer attendance. Compared to last week, stocker calves sold steady to 5 higher. Feeder cattle steady, packer cows and bulls sold steady. 3 to 400 pound steers, 435, 485. 3 to 400 pound heifers, 415, 440. 4 to 500 pound steers, 370, 335. 4 to 500 pound heifers, 375, 415. 5 to 600 pound steers, 316, 370. 5 to 600 pound heifers, 319, 375. 6 700 pound steers, 310, 316. 6 700 pound heifers, 242, 319. 7 800 pound steers, 272, 310. 7 800 pound heifers, 240, 242. Packer cows 138, 148. Canner and cutter cows 128, 134. Packer bulls 170, 175. Feeder bulls 155, 162. Cow calf pairs not well tested. Top half the bred cows $2,300 to $2,700 per head. We do appreciate the business, and we'll talk to you next Monday morning. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
If you plug your nose, you can't tell the difference between an apple, potato, and an onion, unless you open your eyes. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 9:31, and joining us in studio this morning from the Chaves County Health Council and Veteran Symposium, of course, Rick Lamb and Rebecca Cobos back with us. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Welcome back. Happy Monday. I know it's not the funnest thing to say, but happy Monday nonetheless.
You know what? Every now and then you need a happy Monday.
At least the Monday's a nice weather Monday.
Exactly.
Like after a couple weeks, and this week is pretty stellar. Most
I know.
week.
85 degrees today. I was excited.
Sure you can't move some of the activities outdoors Saturday? Because, I mean, we might actually want to now.
We might. Hopefully the Hobson Hall has AC.
That's right. Yeah, they're pretty good on the breakfast. Or when we had the breakfast out there, but that's in the morning, so I don't know. Yeah, it'd be good. It's the newest building out there. It should be the best AC in the complex.
It should be, right?
And it ends at 2 o'clock anyway, so it doesn't get too hot.
There you go.
Exactly.
So, if you're wondering what the heck we're talking about, well, here it is. We've been mentioning it all month here in various times, but this Saturday is the date. You're officially in the 2-minute warning. The Chaves County Veteran Symposium annual event will be this Saturday. I guess you can say annual. It's been going for a few years now.
Yeah.
So we call it officially
third
annual.
plus year or something.
So we're going to go with annual Chaves County Veteran Symposium here. But it'll be this Saturday, March 29th, out at the Eastern New Mexico State Fairgrounds there at Hobson Hall.
Correct.
Or the new building, depending on, because that's what it was called for about a year before. Yeah. They decided to honor the Hobson family with that name, but and if you've been to years past, it'll be similar, a little different, but similar at the same time. It's it is like you said, a veteran symposium. It's in the title. It's a resource for veterans for everything from if you need health care to, benefits to just quality of life stuff.
Tax exemption on your property?
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Stuff like that. Yeah, because, by the way, the county does that, if you did not know. I took advantage of it a couple years ago here as a veteran myself, and I highly recommend you do it. It's pretty good. Put it this way, even if it's just a little bit, you want to pay a little bit of taxes or no, I'm just saying.
Every penny helps.
That's one more Kit Kat in my pocket. That's all
There
I'm
you
saying. But this is really a great event to kind of learn about not just that, but it's a little bit of everything. It's entertainment. We're going to have some fun for everybody. There's food, there's going to be stuff going on. But really, the hallmark here is we want to get as many veterans to come and take advantage of the most opportunities and things you maybe didn't know about, or things you did know about, but that maybe you're a little too intimidated to navigate through. This is what this event's for, to help you get better, get quality of life better, whether it's bigger stuff or little stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's kind of what it's
we
about.
do have a little bit of everything for everyone. So whatever your needs are, we would be able to, there's going to be a lot of vendors, a lot of resources, things like that there. So whatever, someone is looking for, there's going to be something there for them.
Absolutely. Now the event is it's a half day. You be there at 10, you're out of there by 2 p.m.
Yep. Right.
So you still got, you can get up and go have wherever you have your Saturday morning breakfast, and then come on down, and then
there you go.
Out the door by 2 o'clock to go whatever your afternoon consists of.
Exactly.
But I highly recommend, even if you only have an hour to hang out, find that hour and get down there and do some and get involved. Some of the stuff, there is scheduled times for some things. Some of it's come and go, and there is a schedule of events. Like if you want like a particular thing, like the resource booths and all that will start open about 10:45. But like the NIMI, some of their GOS performances, if you're like, I want to see the GOS team do their stuff, you're going to want to be there at noon for that, because if you come at 1:30, you're going to miss that. So if you're looking for specific things, you're going to want, but some of the things you can kind of, like if you're visiting certain booths, anytime between that kind of 10 and 2 window, you'll be able to do that. But I would invite you to kind of look at that thing, and if there's certain things you want to make sure you're at, then be there for that specific. Although if you're just kind of wanting the whole experience, come at it too. You're going to be well fed, well busy, and tired by 2 o'clock when it's time to go.
Right. We do have some really specific opening ceremonies. Like we'll honor POW MIA.
So you want to kind of be there for that,
right? And then we're going to be honoring a World War II veteran, one who has passed, and one who is still with us. We just lost
one here.
Yes,
we only got one left now.
So we want to we have an honorable mention for him as well. And then we also want to honor our Vietnam veterans, which is the 29th is our memorial.
Right afterwards.
Right.
Yeah, so stick around a little bit, and then they're doing our Vietnam Day celebrations. They're always saying veterans, but our Vietnam veterans.
Right, and there's a few things going on in the community, but American Legion Post 28 is going to be offering a community event. Yeah. Hamburgers and hot dogs open to the community.
That'll be at the fairgrounds.
No, that'll be at the Legion at 6.
Okay, and that's there on Montana.
Correct.
And so come on down, come one, come all, come hungry, and then come. And of course, if you want to learn more about becoming a Legionnaire,
absolutely,
they would love to have you and talk to you. And I imagine probably be a few VFW guys and everything else hanging out too, if they want to bring you in. I say join them all.
Yes. More resources.
Strength in numbers. The more veteran and the stronger all veteran groups are, the stronger they can do better work for veterans.
Absolutely.
It really is especially when you get into Legion and VFW worlds.
Right.
The numbers are the big thing.
And we do have, even Together with Veterans, we have a lot of support from American Legion as well as VFW.
Oh, they'll have representatives from, I think, both Legion posts, the VFW, they all have representatives on hand for you to talk to.
Because suicide is definitely, a national issue right now. So all of the veterans organizations, as well as our communities, health councils, things like that are really focusing on that.
That's a big mantle that pretty much they're all, because people that veterans, you always hear the 21 seconds or 20, that number kind of fluctuates here and there. Right. Either way, it's a bad number.
Yeah.
And 21 veterans or 20 veterans a day or whatever that number is, it's too many. And
every death by suicide is a tragedy.
Everyone is too. Yeah. And but here's the rub on this: it's why we focus sometimes on veterans on this one more than others. Veterans by nature are ornery, stubbornness, refusal to listen to people type people. And so you got to hit that nut a few times to crack it to get them to understand what we're talking about here.
Yep. To say the least.
Some of the non-veteran, I'm not saying that's not the case. There's some stubborn civvies too out there, but generally, you almost have to drag a vet kicking and screaming to something like this to get them to do it before they open up their eyes to say, see, this is important. Okay, maybe you're right.
And really just want to change the thought process for our rural community. Mm-hmm. If we make it more, if we bring more awareness, then we're going to be able to know how to target some of those needs.
And the more visible, the more it is, the more people feel less alone, the more people will turn to resources. And veterans, I know I was making jokes about hardhead stuff, and that's very true. But at the end of the day, if there's veterans will listen to veterans more than before they will listen to other people. That's just just the nature of the beast. So if we can get veterans telling veterans, hey, dude, you need some help, let us help you do that.
Right.
And that's what veterans do. And veterans respect veterans because veterans know that veterans have seen the same and experience, maybe not directly, but they've been in the same kinds of rooms and done the same kinds of things and know that come and understand the same kind of mindsets.
Right.
And so that's why we put that emphasis on there. But please, you don't have to be a veteran to take advantage of the suicide stuff and all that. If you know someone that's dealing with this stuff, call the lines. They're not going to say, "Are you a veteran?" Sorry, that's not going to happen.
No, absolutely not.
They're going to help you with everything. If you have any issues and you just want to talk to someone, please. The 988, the suicide, the veteran stuff, it applies to anyone that's dealing with stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we want to stress that. And this is something too. If you're a caretaker for a veteran or family of a veteran, maybe your veteran isn't. I'm not going. And veterans being veterans, come on down for them.
Right.
And we'd be happy to say, yeah, my uncle or my grandfather, my aunt or whoever it is a veteran, and she couldn't be here today, but I'd like to give her some information. Please come on down.
Well, and usually quarterly too, we're doing some sort of, veteran suicide prevention to help people to understand exactly what to look for in those scenarios. So if you are a caretaker, you do have a family member, we'll help you see those signs.
Yeah.
And that ultimately strengthens our community in the long run as well.
And here's the cool part. Everything we're talking about here, if you're lost or confused and you're like, where do I go? It's very easy. 211.
Yeah.
Everything we just talked about, call that number. And if you missed any part or want more information about anything, or if you want to dive deeper into some of these resources we're talking about, 211. They'll be happy to set the table for you to get you down the path of getting whatever service you need. That's what they do. And that's for everybody, not just veterans, but if it's a medical emergency, 911 is but if you need resources for, like, maybe you're new to town and looking for a good doctor, or maybe you have a child with special needs and not sure what resources are available, or maybe you're needing help with, like, Department of Health stuff or health insurance and or FEMA stuff at this, because we've been using 211 over with the flooding and everything.
Absolutely.
It's been also your flood resource, everything from needing it to offering it and everything in between, FEMA resources, all that. 211's been doing all that. So anything regarding that still, and even flood stuff, if you got questions about FEMA or any of that stuff, 211 is that number you need to call. That's what it's fair. Now, it's not at a 24-hour hotline. These people sleep at night. They have lives. Please don't call them at 2 a.m. wanting to know about your FEMA stuff.
We'll just leave a message and they'll call you back.
They will call you back. But if you have any questions about anything we're talking about here today, that's if you want to know more, or maybe, like you said, maybe you missed, maybe you can't come out on Saturday because you're busy or whatever, but there's some stuff you definitely want to be a part of, reach out to 211 and we can get you in touch with the people that are offering these resources. But if you can, come out Saturday and talk. And
absolutely.
Meet. Yeah, that's the big thing. But like I said, everything starts at 10 like I said, that's the opening ceremonies, and it's military, so we're going to do it right. Presentation of colors, of course, honor our POW, MIA, the traditions that we in the military do as a staple at everything we do. That will be there. And then about, like I said, about 10:45 is kind of when the actual, like, symposium will kick off with the booths opening up and everything else. So from there on, but there'll be, like you said, at noon, there'll be the cool performance by the Goss, Nimi Goss, and there's a couple others, those I think during the day too, like that. So please just go call 211, or if you want to, I always Google like Health Council, Travis County Health Council, or you can type in Chaves County Veterans, anything like that will kind of get you to the symposium page and the link and all the stuff that's there. And that way you can kind of read for yourself exactly what time everything is, and then you can plot and plan when you want to be there and what you're going to do. And of course, if you have any questions, and right after that, you can call 211 and say, hey, this thing at noon, what's that about again? And then you can answer that question for you.
Absolutely.
Good deal. While we're at it, too, because as part of the Together with the Vet, see, there's 211's the Health Council. That's the big umbrella. But within that kind of, it's the Health Council supports and is part of is the Together with Veterans group that meets, I think, on a monthly basis, right?
Yep.
We do.
And we would love to have more people come to that, Together with Veterans. We'd love to. I know we have a lot more veterans in this community than that come to that meeting every month. And we'd love to have some that come and share your, listen, talk, find out. That's the big thing it's really a question and answer session where folks are, like yourselves, are looking, how can we serve veterans better?
Right.
But veterans get input on saying and part of the solution process as well, too.
Right.
So.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sharing what are the community needs.
Yeah.
You know, each community is different. So, and we're really targeting different age groups, different, war times. So your needs are going to be different.
Absolutely.
So if we can actually really focus in on that and target some of those needs, then we could try to really advocate to bring some of those resources to our community.
Absolutely. And it's different with, it's sad but true is, we think when you ask the average person what a veteran looks like, they're going to think of some person probably in their 50s, 60s, 70s, grizzled, hairless, or gray hair. Someone that looks like me, quite frankly. You know what I'm saying? But that's not the truth. Our today's veteran is a 20 and 30 something that just came back from Afghanistan or Iraq or somewhere in the Middle East, and they think like a young person, millennial, someone who doesn't think old grizzled like us, thinks more like young today. They're not into the same things. They're not.
Right.
They don't necessarily learn the same ways we did or have things, and so tried and true what we do to veterans don't resonate with some of our younger folks, and so. We in veterans groups are learning. We're evolving too. And this is kind of what this Together a Veterans group is that, I get it. The old and grizzled, and there's some things that tried and true, but we have new generations of veterans. And guess what? There's veterans that are 25.
Absolutely.
And they're not all 70 or 80 or 60 or whatever it is. These literally kids are kids. They're still kids. They most of them, if they'd gone the other path, are just getting their high school or their college diplomas and thinking about what, starting their careers and families and all that kind of. Now they're veterans, grizzled veterans at 25.
Yep.
So that's what we're dealing with. And so this is what what the veteran Together with Veterans groups about. Certainly what this veteran symposium on Saturday is about is we want veterans, whether you're freshly shaven and still looking like a child veteran or some of those, cantankerous ones like us that are still there. We
love them all.
Yeah, we want you to be a part of this and realize that the face of a veteran is not the stereotypical thing that most people think it is anymore. It's
absolutely
no, it's definitely not.
And unfortunately, that's a bad thing because it means that we're still fighting wars and we're still doing, and that unfortunately is going to be. It's kind of, I don't know. Part of me kind of grew up in being an '80s child in '70s and '80s. We kind of, there was Vietnam, and then we didn't talk about war till Gulf War hit in '90. It was, and so I kind of lived in that middle where I didn't think about it. War. Every war was like ancient history to me.
Right.
I mean, granted, I was young enough where Vietnam wasn't, but in my head it was. You know what I mean? And so it now it just feels like coming from the other thing. It's like we've had like several combat war. Since Gulf War. Different phases of whatever you want to call it, combat and veterans dealing with stuff, and whether it's full-on war or just some action in some place you never heard of. It's happening more and more often, and so that's why we as communities got to get on the jump on this stuff with veterans because there's going to be more. There's new generations of them. They're going to have new experiences, new things. We got to be. How do we serve that? How do we make sure that these folks are taken care of? For when they get, because that's just it. I mean, we got veterans that are literally got more life ahead of them than behind them still, and that's something that in my head's hard to wrap around. And so that's what we're addressing and dealing with today.
Yeah.
So.
And they're not alone.
Yep, absolutely. So please come out this Saturday. Come out to the Eastern New Mexico State Fairgrounds. Hobson Hall, the new building, however you want to call it. That's going to be just follow the cars and the people.
Yes.
I mean, it's not really hard to get lost out there. But I imagine, are they going to be are they skirting people through the main entrance or that vendor's entrance? That's like off the top of your head? Because sometimes no, don't go to the main entrance, go to the vendor's entrance, which is that one that's just south of the main entrance.
As far as I know, it's the main entrance, but they should have signs up and everything and
Very
people
good.
directing.
It's going to be one of the two. And
Yeah.
if it's not the one, it's the other one. So
Yeah.
just, you'll have time to figure out. But everything will get underway. Get there a little bit before 10 because opening ceremonies and everything will kick off right at 10:00, and then we'll be done by 2 p.m. 1400 for veterans out there. So,
there you go.
And please, and then of course, if you have any questions about everything we talked about here, you can always go online to the Facebook page or simply just 211, and we'll get your answers.
There you go.
Questions answered, or if you want to volunteer or want more, you think, hey, I love this. How do I get involved with these veteran symposiums, or how do I get involved with the Together Veterans or whatever groups? And of course, and by the way, too, if you are looking to get involved with veteran groups, you're new to town. Like I said, they're all going to be there. VFW, American Legion, Travis County Veterans. I think all of our veterans groups are going to have representation there for you to talk to as well, too. So if you're just looking for a social game, got you covered.
Got you covered.
Is there anything we missed, guys? Anything we want to cover that, you know me, I go down a rabbit hole and
No, I
really think so.
You
I
got
think
it.
we covered most of it.
I will offer this up though, real quick too. Is if you want to serve in our community, Health Council is always looking for more volunteers too, in various ways, shape, or form. The Health Council is kind of that resource for everybody. The tentpole things that people know the Health Council for is generally your right around back to school time health fair. That happens, won't be this year, but will happen at the convention center. It won't be there this year, but we will have it. We'll talk about that one later. But that's kind of the most public thing I think most people know for is that big back to school. But when that's not going on, they're of course planning for it, but they really are partnering with doctors and other healthcare resources, providing them with resources like if there's anything from like special, procedures, guests or opportunities in medicine that we can expose to our healthcare professionals, and you find out, you kind of put it on their radar, and then just being a network for them, but then also being that network for the community. If you're trying to get in touch, whether if it's a government-based program or not, 211 is that resource. So if you're interested in volunteering, whether it's serving on the board or, even if it's just, hey, can I set up, people set up booths at these health fairs and things, whether it's grunt work or more of the other stuff, always could use more folks to get involved because passionate people get a lot done.
Exactly.
And you guys meet monthly, right? Or is it weekly? I can't remember.
Health Council meets monthly.
Monthly, yes.
Yep.
But if you're interested, call 211.
211. It's a great number right there.
Yeah, good deal.
211.
Well, thank you guys. We appreciate
Yes,
it. And,
thank you.
And we'll see you here next time, if not sooner.
Definitely.
Okay.
Good
Thank
deal.
you.
All right, it is 9:51. Let's go ahead and pause for Hannity Update, Chaves County Sports, and your SRN business update. Don't go away.
106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. U.S. business activity picked up in March, but growing fears over import tariffs and deep government spending cuts continue to weigh on sentiment and prospects for the rest of the year. President Donald Trump said he would be placing a 25% tariff on all imports from any country that buys oil or gas from Venezuela, as well as imposing new tariffs on the South American country itself. Trump said on Monday he will, in the very near future, announce tariffs on automobiles, aluminum, and pharmaceuticals. U.S. retailers Walmart and Target are in talks with their suppliers over proposed price hikes on merchandise. The outcome of their talks will determine when and by how much merchandise prices rise, and even which products retailers will keep on their store shelves. And the FBI is probing what it called the increase in violent activity toward Tesla, adding that the Bureau has taken steps in recent days to crack down on such incidents around the country. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
The need for American-made energy is forecasted to increase by over 50% over the next couple of decades. Coyote Willow Energy Park is a resilient, clean, and affordable solution to this increasing demand being planned in Chavez County. Join us at the Coyote Willow Energy Park Open House to learn more about the role Chavez County can play in meeting the need for an increased supply of reliable domestic energy. The project will provide a significant amount of new local job opportunities, millions of dollars of new local tax revenue, and local investments. Plus, it helps lower greenhouse gas emissions and improves grid reliability. It's a win for the local economy and the future of Chavez County. Stop by the Chavez County Joy Center in Roswell on March 27th between 5:30 and 8 p.m. Meet the team, ask questions, and discover how Coyote Willow Energy Park is powering a brighter future for Chavez County. Visit www.coyotewillowep.com to learn more and RSVP.
Get ready, Artesia. The main event car show and cruise is rolling into town Friday, March 28th and Saturday, March 29th, 2025. Friday night, we're kicking things off at 6 p.m. with the Main Street Cruise. Watch as classic cars, hot rods, and muscle cars take over Main Street, cruising by the decade. It's a moving history lesson with a whole lot more horsepower. Then Saturday from 9 to 3, downtown Artesia transforms into the ultimate car lover's paradise. Cars, trucks, motorcycles, bikes, even tractors. It's free family fun with music, friendly competition, and more. Want in on the action? Register your ride at artesiachamber.com or stop by 107 North First Street in Artesia. The main event car show and cruise, March 28th and 29th in downtown Artesia. Brought to you by the Artesia Car Enthusiast, Artesia Chamber, and Artesia Main Street. Paid for by Artesia Logitech.
Renting your tuxedo has never been easier. At Hippie Chicks, we have name brands like Michael Kors, Kenneth Cole, Couture, Allurement, and Mod, all in ultra slim and slim fit styles to flatter every shape and size. Stay cool and comfortable with Performance Stretch and Cool Max technology, because men's formal wear should feel as good as it looks. And renting is easy for prom, graduation, and your end of school parties. Just choose your style, try it on, and return it hassle-free. And right now, order before April 1st for your chance to win $100 cash. Visit Hippie Chicks today, 802 South Main in Roswell. Look for the VW.
Join Hot New Country 92.9 The Brand in La Pantera 106.1 FM for a special live broadcast Saturday, March 29th from 10 to 1 at Roswell Honda. Double up days are back, and that means your tax return can score you up to $4,000 towards your next new or pre-owned vehicle. We'll have hot dogs and ice cold Pepsi products, and you can register to win an all-black 5-burner flat-stone gas griddle with over 700 inches of grilling space. Drawing at 1, must be present to win. See you Saturday, 10 to 1 at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
How do you find a roofing contractor you can trust? You can randomly pick one, cross your fingers and hope for the best, or maybe you can ask a psychic to predict who's trustworthy. Here's a better idea. Choose one who prefers using America's most trusted roofing brand, Owens Corning. And rest easy, because Owens Corning screens their contractors for reliability, professionalism, and customer service. Why take any chances? Owens Corning, trusted contractors, proven products. For an Owens Corning preferred contractor, visit owenscorning.com/roofing.
For a free estimate, give Do Right Roofing a call today, 575-623-2273.
Find them fast in names and numbers.
The Eastern New Mexico University System is proud to present One Eastern Day, sponsored by J.P. Stone Community Bank, on Thursday, May 1st from 4 to 9 p.m. on the campus of ENMU Roswell. Come join ENMU for a family fun night featuring food trucks, inflatables, face painting, info booths, and live music by Roswell's own Grupo Maldad from 7 to 9 p.m. Bring the whole family out on May 1st to ENMU Roswell and join us for One Eastern Day. Visit roswell.enmu.edu for more information. Eastern New Mexico University. Student success. That's what we're about.
This is the time of year we can get all 4 seasons in just one day. Hi, this is Ben Manette from Roswell Seed Company. 1 minute you're sweating in the sun, and the next minute you've got slush in your shoes. But that's winter in Roswell, and after 127 years, we're starting to get used to it. It's too early to plant very much, but you can fertilize pecan trees, spray for dandelions, order your bees, and pick up a new seed catalog. So come see us at Roswell Seed. Like Jim Gill would say, enjoy the warm days, but don't go far from the fire.
You can't hunt camels in Arizona, but you can buy them. They go for about $10 a pack. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 7:58. Got a minute or two here before top of the hour news. Next hour, stay tuned. We're going to have joining us from Harvest Ministries. Mark Green will stop by and give us an update what's going on over at Harvest Ministries. They're always looking for volunteers. Last time we spoke with him, I guess it was about a month or two ago, they were in the need for some new volunteers. They always had a steady group, but, you know, folks get older, retire, things happen. So they're looking for some new volunteers. So, but we'll get an update from Mark next hour. I do want to mention to you, let's see, we do have some blood drives happening in and around southeast New Mexico in April, which is next week, by the way. Their first one in the month of April in Roswell will be happening on Wednesday, April 2nd, and it will be at New Mexico Military Institute in the VMB building from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., so pretty much all afternoon, and that's there on the NMMI campus, 101 West College. Then on April 2nd, that day as well, they're also going to be at the Pecos Valley production there on Country Club. The Bloodmobile will be there in the parking lot there, right. If you know where Pecos Valley production is, but there's it's in the medical complex there. There's a couple other little doctor's offices and my vet's right nearby there too. But in that little shopping center, they'll have the Bloodmobile, and you can go there from 11 to 2:30 on the 2nd as well. All right, it is 8 o'clock. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. We will be back on the other side of news. Don't go away.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Defense Secretary Hegseth taking issue with a claim made by journalist Jeffrey Goldberg. The editor-in-chief of The Atlantic, Goldberg, says the Trump administration mistakenly texted him detailed plans for the attack on Houthi rebels in Yemen. Now, quoting Hegseth, nobody was texting more plans, and that's all I have to say about that, although he did have more to say about Goldberg.
Talking about a deceitful and highly discredited so-called journalist who's made a profession of peddling hoaxes time and time again, to include the hoaxes of Russia, or the fine people on both sides hoax, or suckers and losers hoax. So this is the guy that peddles in garbage. This is what he does.
But congressional lawmakers say it's serious, expected to come out today at a congressional hearing on Capitol Hill. South Korean auto giant Hyundai announcing plans to invest $21 billion in the U.S. President Trump says it includes plans for a big plant in Louisiana.
This will be Hyundai's first ever steel mill in the United States, one of the largest companies in the world, by the way, supplying steel for its auto parts and auto plants in Alabama and Georgia, which will soon produce more than 1 million American-made cars every single year. Cars are coming into this country at levels never seen before.
The Louisiana plant will employ more than 1,400 people. A newly formed FBI task force to investigate vandalism targeting Tesla dealerships and automobiles, apparently carried out by those upset with Elon Musk's role in Doge, the Trump effort to root out government waste, fraud, and abuse. Following yesterday's talks with the Russians, today U.S. negotiators are back at the table, this time talking with Ukrainian representatives as they try to arrange a ceasefire in Ukraine. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 71 points, while the Nasdaq trading 10 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Arguments before the nation's highest court in a challenge to congressional redistricting in Louisiana.
The Supreme Court appears closely divided on a challenge to Louisiana's 2024 congressional map, which added a second black majority district for the first time. The state's Republican-led leadership teamed up with voting rights groups to defend the state's map, created under pressure from a Court of Appeals deadline. It protects the seats of incumbents like House Speaker Mike Johnson.
In an election year, we faced the prospect of a federal court-drawn map that placed in jeopardy the Speaker of the House Majority Leader,
Louisiana Solicitor General Benjamin Aguinaldo.
We drew our own map to protect them.
Chief Justice John Roberts said one of the new districts looks like a snake.
It's a snake that runs from one end of the state to the other.
Jennifer King, Washington.
The leader of the rebels who captured 2 key cities in eastern Congo says international sanctions will not stop the fighting in the conflict-plagued east of the country. News and analysis at townhall.com. Looks like you can have your cake and eat it too, just do it more slowly.
Experts tend to focus on the kinds of food you can eat to improve your health, but the speed at which you devour your dinner matters just as much. Scientists say you're eating too fast if you typically finish a regular-sized meal in less than 20 minutes. That means you could have a higher risk of obesity, swallow more air that leads to bloating, or have unchewed pieces of food lodged in your esophagus. Experts recommend slowing down by putting down your phone, turning off the TV, and focusing on the meal itself. Keith Peters, Washington.
Citing national security concerns, Attorney General Pam Bondi has invoked state secrets privilege in refusing to provide a federal district judge with flight data about the deportation of suspected Venezuelan gang members. The 199 men are now imprisoned in El Salvador. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The demolition, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to our
number 2.
The deuce.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Thank you, Roy. Sean's off getting the fam off to school and activities and all that. He'll be back here in a short while. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hope all of you are having a wonderful day. Weather's quite dandy outside. Sunny. Skies are clear. Light breezes. Gonna be a good day. Gonna be warm, like 88 today. So it's full on spring now. You know, New Mexico spring. I know 70s is like spring for like I grew up, but not like here. You know, 80s is spring. So. But happy spring. It's gonna feel like spring this week. We do have rain chances like Wednesday, tomorrow night, and Thursday. But we'll see how that shapes up, of course. But we'll see. But weather looking pretty good. Lots going on, of course, with all the different events coming up this weekend. Of course, with the symposium there we're just talking about. Roswell Communal Theater's opening weekend for their play. The Explorers Club is this weekend, and then next weekend is Porks too. So that plus a bunch of other stuff. We got events going on at dealerships. It's just a busy week of stuff here going on. Baseball, softball in the air. It's all just kind of nice spring stuff. So happy spring, everybody. Yeah, pretty good. There's another show. Yeah, like I was talking last hour about it's called I think it's Unbelievable with Dan Aykroyd. It's called the History Channel show.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
That's a good one. It's on Hulu. That story I was talking about last hour with the bats and the bombs and all that. That was good. I've got there's a bunch more. There's like 10 episodes altogether. I've only seen like 4 of them.
I think I saw it advertised when it was on.
Yeah, I guess it was. I don't have History Channel on my regular TV package anymore. I have to, so I see most of that stuff on Hulu now. But so I don't see it when it airs. I just catch. I was like, oh look, there's a series with Dan Aykroyd talking about, and at first because Dan's out there. Dan Aykroyd's if you've ever know the history of Dan Aykroyd, he loves the like Ghostbusters. He wrote all that stuff because he loves the paranormal,
a little bit of the
and
supernatural.
Yeah, that's all his. He's highly interested in that kind of stuff. So
also, vodka. Is it vodka?
Yeah, it's his vodka. His skull. I don't remember what the brand name is, but it's in the skull.
Yeah, it's like
if you see that skull
alien
vodka
skulls.
Store. Yeah, that's Dan Aykroyd's. He's also got a marijuana. He's in on marijuana too.
Yes,
but that's with. He's partnered with Belushi. Obviously not Jim Belushi. Jim Belushi.
Yeah.
And they have a Blues Brothers cannabis company that that's actually multi-state. I think you can get it in New Mexico. Like I think I remember seeing something online about Blues Brothers cannabis in New Mexico.
Okay.
It's kind of is a product line that I think it's out of Oregon or something like that. They did a TV show, weirdly enough. There was I think it was like A&E or TLC or one of those channels. Yeah. They did and I think it was called Growing Belushi or something Belushi, something like that. And it was Dan Aykroyd was barely in it. I think he's like a silent partner. I think it's all Belushi that runs the day to day. But Aykroyd's an investor, and I know there was one of the episodes where Aykroyd kind of comes in and check in, but
Growing Belushi.
Yeah, that's it. They were the Blues Brothers. Like after, I think those two toured together as the Blues Brothers for a bit after John Belushi, and I feel like Goodman did it too with I think Aykroyd stepped out for a while, and then I think John Goodman jumped in at one point. I don't know, but anyway.
They got their own YouTube channel too.
Do they?
Yeah, I think it's official too, because it's like I don't know if it's just clips from the show or if it's just like kind of a continuation of the show.
Could be, because I don't think the show's on the air anymore, or it hasn't been on in a minute. If it is, I don't know, because and they left it kind of in peril. Like I remember watching the show,
and
then at the end of it, there was some fire and it burned down their grow house, and then it just the show ended, and I was like, what happened? Did you get it back? I don't know. I never found out. So
well, that's one of the video titles is Does Dan Aykroyd know Jim burned up his weed?
Yeah. They used to do and on the TV show, they had a lot if you watched According to Jim, do you remember his sitcom According to Jim? Remember the brother-in-law on the show? He's been in a bunch of other TV shows, but he was the.
I haven't watched that
He's a
show in a
heavyset
hot
blonde
minute.
dude. He was also he's been in a bunch of movies. I can't remember his name. Another recent TV show he was in was Mom. He was like a bar patron in Mom, the TV show Mom. But he was, according to Jim, he was Jim's brother-in-law. Anyway, that guy is on the show.
Yeah,
the Growing Belushi
that
show.
that kind of fat guy. That's like his brother-in-law.
Yeah, I don't remember his name, but you see him in a bunch of stuff. That's his first thing I've seen him in. He's like the perfect comedic character actor. He's in a bunch of things, but he hangs out like in every episode is the kind of the comic clown on the Jim Belushi show. But anyway,
Larry Joe Campbell.
That sounds right. Yeah, that's his name. Yeah, he's been in a bunch of stuff. He's in a bunch of movies, TV shows. I don't think he stars in anything. He's always the sidekick or a character actor in the show. But anyway,
go ahead.
Another show I picked up on. I was watching at lunch yesterday, and it's on HBO Max, the Max app, HBO, and it's called "It's Florida, Man," and this show. So what it is? It's produced and created by a bunch of comedic directors, comedy and so I don't know all the comedians behind it. I know what's his name from the Righteous Gemstones and Eastbound and Down. I can't remember his name. The main guy from that. He's one of the
Danny
McBride. Yeah, he's one of the people involved in it.
McBride.
Yes, he's one of the people involved. Also, I know the narrator, like at the beginning, they do a disclaimer. That voice is Stephen Root. I can recognize that voice anywhere. Of course, Stephen Root is, where he's been a bunch of stuff. He was, let me think, he's in so many things.
He's in Dodgeball. He's in...
Dodgeball. He was in Idiocracy.
Space.
He was the judge in that. Office Space. Yeah, a lot of Mike Judge stuff.
My Stapler guy.
He was in Big Bang Theory. He's Bill
Daughtry.
Penny's boss in Big Bang Theory. He's a news radio. But anyway, he's the voice guy in it. And so the premise of the show is basically they take these stories that really happened in Florida. And it's crazy stuff from some guy getting his arm bitten off by an alligator and living on days and to crazy Craigslist requests to everything but it's kind of recreated. They get the people. Is that our guest?
Yeah, they're coming out.
They get the people that like actually did the event, and then they do recreations with like some of these comedic actors that are, and some of them are, they're all relatively famous or people and they recreate these stories of actual events that happened in Florida, and there's like 6 or 7 episodes, and it's crazy. Like I said, there's one guy got his arm bitten off by a alligator and like walked around for 3 days, and of course he's a huge neck dude, where it's just a big old Florida redneck, and it's just stories like that, and it's good but weird. It's very weird, but it's called it's Florida Man, and that one's different. But it's like a comedic spin on these weird, real life, crazy, over the top stories. So, and they're all out of Florida, every one of them.
I was gonna say, speaking of streaming services,
I
don't know if you've heard of the bundle that Disney Plus is having right now.
Because I probably have them all already, so I don't really pay attention.
They're finally offering a deal for it.
Okay.
And it's like $2.99 for 4 months. Like you pay each month for 4 months.
Okay.
And you only pay $2.99 each month, and that's the offer.
And what do they give you?
Everything. They give you you just get it.
Do you get Disney Plus?
It's like a limited time offer.
Just Disney Plus, though. You don't get like
and Hulu.
Okay, or ESPN.
I think you just get Hulu and Disney Plus.
Okay, because I thought they package ESPN Plus in there too, or something else.
Yeah, and this is the first time they've done it. I think.
Okay.
From what I've seen.
See, I have the ones I have that I want.
So for anyone who doesn't know, then and wants to watch.
Well, if you get the Hulu one,
Daredevil. Then,
oh yeah, I forgot there's a new Daredevil thing. I need to check. Have you saw that yet?
No, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do that.
I kind of dug that Daredevil when they did it on Netflix.
I watched the Netflix one.
Yeah,
it was all right.
The first season I liked. The second season got weird, but so I'd be oddly curious on that one.
Yeah,
I kind of dug that Daredevil. But anyway, let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We do have a full slate for you. We'll get you updated with the weather here in just a few. Spoiler, it's going to be nice. Some chances of rain tomorrow night and Thursday. Other than that, pretty A-okay. And then here in just a bit, we'll have Mark Green join us from Harvest Ministries, give us an update on what's happening over there. Later on in the hour, we'll get you up to date with the news of the local variety, Wall Street business updates, and whatever else we can come up with. But first, let's take a gander at that weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things are looking pretty good today. Very warm. We'll be in the mid to upper 80s. High pressure parked over our area for now, so we should get sunshine, and the wind will stay fairly light. It'll be clear for the overnight hours. Our low in the upper 40s to low 50s. We do have a quick low pressure system moving through the area on Wednesday, so we'll get a mix of sunshine and clouds, maybe a shower or two, and our high around 80. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 53 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 37%. Winds currently out of the northwest at 3 miles per hour. Sunny and warm, high of 88 today. So tickling 90. Northwest winds at around 5 miles per hour. Skies will be clear tonight with an overnight low of 49 degrees. Winds out of the southeast at around 5 miles per hour. Wednesday, partly cloudy and 82 for a high tomorrow. North winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Wednesday night, we are looking at a 30% chance at some showers or thunderstorms. They say mainly before midnight, mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 55 degrees and south winds at around 5 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday, we are looking at a 40% chance of showers. Then, as the day progresses into the afternoon, a chance at showers and thunderstorms. Mostly cloudy for the day and a high of 77. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday, we're looking at sunny skies, 86 for a high. And then looking at the weekend, sunny and 84 for Saturday, sunny and 81 for Sunday. All right, 8:18. Let's take a 3-minute break, and then Mark Green with Harvest Ministries will join us here on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Hey, Roswell, need a truck? You're in luck. Now is your time to buy a new Ford truck for a lot less during Ford Truck Month at Roswell Ford. For a limited time, get massive discounts on every new Ford and quality pre-owned car, truck, and SUV, plus 0% APR for 72 months and no payments for 90 days. Attention business owners, Roswell Ford has a great selection of commercial vehicles, so we're taking care of business. Big trucks, small trucks, work trucks, we've got them all for a lot less. Making payments on your current vehicle and want out early? Roswell Ford wants to terminate your loan or lease, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. And our aggressive finance team will push to approve your credit, even if it's less than perfect. Plus, Roswell Ford offers mobile services, so our certified technicians will come to you, regardless of where you're at, for oil changes, tire rotation, batteries, recalls, and more. Contact us for details. Massive savings and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell. Call 575-623-3673 or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR is 13.89 per thousand finance. Interest accrues from native sale on select vehicles. Trade balance refinanced and loan subject to lender approval. Offers not
Hi, everyone. This is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture. I'm the third generation in this legacy that began with hard work and bold dreams. From Grandpa's footprints in the concrete to floor tiles laid in the 50s by my dad, Bill. Every detail of this building is a testament to our pride in providing quality furniture and service to you. On your quest for making your home beautiful and comfortable, come see us at Glenn's on the corner of Union and Alameda, where delivery is free since 1953.
The ultimate Wi-Fi experience is now available to you thanks to Smart Home Wi-Fi with Plateau. Get fiber-to-home technology 100 times faster than average household internet speed. Plateau has multiple plans and options to fit your family. With Fast, get true 100 megs per second download and upload speed. With Faster, get true 500 megs of download and upload speeds. And with Fastest, you get 1 gig. Learn more at plateautel.com. Get the speed you need with Plateau. Tried, true, trusted.
The Eastern New Mexico University System is proud to present One Eastern Day, sponsored by J.P. Stone Community Bank, on Thursday, May 1st from 4 to 9 p.m. on the campus of ENMU Roswell. Come join ENMU for a family fun night featuring food trucks, inflatables, face painting, info booths, and live music by Roswell's own Grupo Maldad from 7 to 9 p.m. Bring the whole family out on May 1st to ENMU Roswell and join us for One Eastern Day. Visit roswell.enmu.edu for more information. Eastern New Mexico University. Student success. That's what we're about.
What made Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? Great selection, great savings, and great people. Roswell Hyundai has an amazing selection of makes, models, and model years to choose from. If you can't find it, Roswell Hyundai can get it. And Roswell Hyundai will take any trade. The experts at Roswell Hyundai will work with you to get you behind the wheel of your next dream ride. So, what makes Roswell Hyundai the #1 used car dealership in southeastern New Mexico? You do! Come check out the Used Car Supercenter only at Roswell Hyundai, 1909 West 2nd.
The inventor of Pringles is buried in a Pringles can. I wonder if they got their hands stuck putting him in there. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 8 o'clock. And joining us in the studios from Harvest Ministries, Mark Green back with us. Good morning, sir. How you doing
Morning,
today?
Mike. I'm great, thanks.
Doing well. How's things at the ministry there? Things going
They're
pretty
going
steady?
good, yeah.
It's a pretty well-oiled machine over there at Harvest
It
Ministries.
is. We have a few glitches now and then, which we just had this last month. Actually, last 3 months. But,
well, I'm about to say, I think everyone in southeast New Mexico, if you hadn't had a glitch or two over the last 6 months you're here, you're doing pretty good.
Especially with the winds we've just had.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's how does, we talk about cold weather, and we talk about that kind of stuff, but when we get these dust storms, how does that, I imagine that creates an equal impact on the homeless community as a cold night or any other thing.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Yeah, so this time of year, we have home church every Sunday morning for the homeless. So we feed them hot breakfast. It's actually potluck. So we have different people bring. Somebody bring the biscuits and somebody else the
all
dessert.
delicious home cooked food.
Yeah. And then we'll get out the griddle and we'll cook them eggs and bacon and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So we do that every Sunday morning for them. During the winter, it's kind of hard because if they're bundled down and it's freezing cold, and we have it at 8:30, we've learned if we have it later, they've kind of gotten up and scattered out sometimes.
You miss the audience.
We
window,
did, yeah. So when the sun's up, they're pretty much up. And then also, so all of our volunteers go to other churches. So our volunteers are from all different churches all over town. And so we have it at 8:30. So we go from 8:30, and by the time 9:30, we're all cleaned up and ready to go, and everybody can go back to their own church.
Sure.
But during the winter, you never know whether to plan for 5 or 25. Because on those cold mornings, if they're bundled down somewhere, they don't want to get out sometimes. So
I imagine there's two mindsets: either the hunker down, or I need to get moving to warm up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But you don't know which mindset they're going to
so
be in.
It could be whatever they feel like at that particular moment.
Right. So it's really hard to plan for food
Yeah.
During the winter. But when you come to the spring, summer, fall again, it's going to be more consistent, and they'll get out. And but we have learned if it's high wind, I don't know if that's worse than cold, because when it's a high windy morning, they will not come out.
Interesting. I guess you find your sheltered place.
Yeah.
And it's just it's kind of like I'm a kind of a fan of those like survival shows where people go out in survival, and people that do that kind of thing. There's different schools of thought on that. One of them is gather as much food as possible. Others, they use the mindset of I don't gather as much, but I don't use as much, and so I do minimal movement, minimal things to conserve energy, to conserve. So I'm going to guess they kind of use a mindset like that.
There's different ones, just like you said. So you'll see the people that are pushing around a grocery cart full of all of their stuff, and that's their mobile house. They take it with them everywhere they go.
And you'll see them up and down.
As a matter of fact, remind me to tell you something about grocery carts. But yeah, and so they carry everything they have, and others will try to stash it. But if you stash it, somebody else may find it.
Sure.
And so there are others that have the mindset they always travel as light as they can.
Sure.
So even if you're going to give them something that would help them, if it's going to be weight,
too cumbersome,
they'll say no thanks.
Or if they got to commit a bunch of effort to protect it,
right?
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like you said, because especially if they're staying in some of the homeless camps and things, there is a hierarchy in their own kind of form of government there.
Yeah.
That being said, it is a bit of take if you want something and you need it, you take it, and you got to protect it if you want it. That kind of thing.
And they really are a community within a community. They actually help each other out a lot. It's pretty amazing. They do.
Absolutely, yeah. I imagine you'd be amazed at how communal it is over there. And I mean, once you're and this is why we always say what we say. If you want to help with community and help with homeless and get involved, partner through organizations like Harvest Ministries and things, because I get people want to just pay things forward, and I understand that. But if you're not prepared or equipped to go into the homeless camps or known to the homeless community, you're going to have a difficult time navigating that.
Right.
That's why if you use portals, for lack of a better term, like Harvest Ministries, and you really want to get in there, let people that have already kind of made headway in there bring you into the fold, so you come in as a trusted person that they can rely on for help and support, as opposed to someone that might have other ideas.
Yeah, and so Mike, we want to help. We want to help them get off the streets. That's our goal.
That's the main goal.
Yeah, we don't want to just feed them for today. Our motto you see on the side of our truck is hope for today, healing for tomorrow. So today, give them the hope that they need. Okay, it's going to be okay today, but try to help them get healing, so that tomorrow they're better off.
Yeah, it's the at the end of the day, the sandwiches, the blankets, that's the Band-Aid.
It is.
We use that as the peace offering to come in, and then you can establish a relationship, and then you can start the healing process. That's where you can
had a lady come in yesterday, been working with her since the flood. So she wasn't homeless until the flood, but then she lost her apartment, and then she didn't have, because all of the rents they've gone sky high.
Sure.
So if you lose your lease, the next time you're going to try to sign a lease, it's going to be, it's going to be $200, $300, $400, $500 more.
It is the world in which we live in.
And so I was notified of the lady who was living in her car at Walmart. So went out there and we helped her get into a hotel, I think, for a couple of months, and worked with Casa and Alianza and some of the others to try to get her on the system. And just yesterday came in, I was able to get her a letter verifying that she's homeless, and so they're going to work with her to get housing. So that's what we want to do, find them where they are.
Absolutely.
Work with the other agencies that can work with us, coordinate with us, and they want to coordinate with us because we know them. They say, do you know them? Are they truly homeless? What is your relationship with them? How have you helped them?
It just makes me laugh that you got to have a letter to say you're homeless.
No, absolutely.
It seems wild, but I guess, in government,
it is, yeah.
It's how the thing moves.
I have to have a certified letter that says that they're homeless, they're clients of ours, we've been working with them, and that's...
You have to vouch for them, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So they can get a free birth certificate from the county here if they're homeless, and also their driver's license. So I used to pay $10 every time, I would try to help somebody get their ID, and they finally said, hey, you know what? If they're homeless, excuse me, you don't have to pay. Just give us a letter verifying you're homeless.
That's cool. That's great.
So, I have to get it notarized. That's $5. So that's half the $10.
So that's worth this because that's their way of trying to help out as best they can.
It is, yeah.
That.
And so these
I know
organizations...
it sounds weird, but
no.
That's government. Everything's got to be verified and proved.
Right.
As it should be.
Right. And we're happy to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's, at the end of the day, that's what we want to do. We want to help them for today, but we want to help them get off the streets. And also get them into the Homeless Coalition because Ms. Yasmin over there does an amazing job helping them get to the place they need to be. They save their money, they open a bank account, they do all of this kind of stuff.
Create a foundation for them.
And then we work with them to get their ID. And then once they've got that, at least they've got something to build on.
Absolutely.
Without an ID, you can't get a job, you can't get an apartment, you can't get benefits.
You don't exist.
You don't exist, yeah. So we help them get not just their ID, we help them get their identity back.
And this is why we say partner through Harvest Ministries.
Exactly,
because we really have, we have overwhelming needs, overwhelming just priorities that have to be taken care of here. However, I believe through Harvest Ministries, through some of these other, the Homeless Coalition, the Hive, and things that are going on in town here, we've got a good network to start the process. And I think this is one of these things where I get people want to do the thing and help out on their own and go, let's work together to consolidate resources, because if all of us are running around trying to gather the same things and different, it's kind of counterproductive. So
it is.
So let's partner together, funnel through Harvest Ministries. Say, all right, let's coordinate. All right, you guys are working on this. We'll focus on this.
Yeah.
And trust me, this is the only way we're going to make a good enough dent to make this not a problem anymore.
Right, and there's always going to be
this situation. You can't make it go away completely.
But the more people we get off the streets, the better for them and the better for our community.
Absolutely.
And so that's what we're working for. One of the things too that we do try to help them with sleeping bags. That means they're going to sleep on the sidewalk somewhere. Yeah, probably they're going to sleep there anyway.
But they live through the night.
The difference is, they're not going to freeze to death at night.
It's not going to be a popsicle when they wake up in the morning.
And they steal people's golf carts. The golf carts, not golf carts. They probably could if they would. No,
shopping carts.
Shopping carts. Yeah, shopping carts.
Like, that's the highfalutin.
I actually did have my golf cart stolen one time. Interesting story.
I feel
there.
like you're not going to keep that very
That
long.
was actually in New Jersey when I was a chaplain at a racetrack in New Jersey, and so I told some of my Italian mafia buddies, "Hey, my golf cart got stolen." They came back and said, "Hey, we found out where your golf cart is. We told them they can either give you the money back, give you the golf cart back, or we'll let our friends take care of them." And I got my golf cart back. So,
sometimes the neighborhood takes care of things.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't ask for anything. I just shared.
That's right.
But anyway, I did get my golf cart stolen. But I'm talking about shopping carts. So when Big Lots went out of business, they, we said, well, let's go see what kind of equipment, shelving and stuff like that that
maybe
we need.
find some use out of it.
Yeah, and we did. Got some pallet jacks and things like that. But they were selling all their shopping carts as well. We thought, you know what? For some of these people that we work with all the time.
Sure, rather than stealing from stores.
Right. We'll say, okay, you know what? You work with us and we'll work with you. Let us help you out. We'll loan you a shopping cart. You don't have to steal one. You can, whatever.
Kind of like those scooters around.
Yeah. So we bought most of their shopping carts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And especially the little cute ones. They've just got a little shelf on
Oh,
them.
yeah, you can put like 3 or 4 things in it.
Right.
Yeah.
Perfect little things. So we bought, I think, 15 of those, and then about, I don't know. We bought most of the other shopping carts. Okay. So then when we went to pick them up, the manager said, "Pastor, I'm sorry, but people stole every one of those little shopping carts." He said people kept asking us if we could buy them. And we said, no, they're already sold, because we bought them, but we had to let them keep using them until the store closed.
They needed to get a business to run.
And he said, we kept telling people, no, they're sold. But he said people would take their stuff out and throw them in their SUV, throw them in the back of their truck and drive off with them.
So what are you going to do?
Yeah. So if you know somebody that has a little shopping cart from Big Lots, the rightful owner is Harvest Ministries. All right,
no questions asked. Just bring them all.
Yeah,
by.
just bring them back. We
could really use them.
They tried to compensate by giving us some other stuff we didn't need, but that's what we needed.
Well, it's nice that they at least.
He said, "Well, I hope you can find them."
Sure.
So anyway, if you know of anyone that's got a small shopping cart from Big Lots, it belongs to Harvest Ministries.
I'm pretty sure they got the logo Big Lots.
Yeah, they do. Please ask them to bring it back to us. So.
Yeah.
But we did get to keep some of the big ones. So
good.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you got them and just.
Or if you know someone, you might suggest, hey, that's really stolen property right there.
Yeah, you're
and it's not stolen from a store; it's stolen from a church.
Yeah, it's a nonprofit that you're taking from now.
Right.
This is something this is going to go to someone less fortunate than you. So,
Right.
No questions asked. Just go and just bring them on to buy or whatever. Even if they just magically show up at the front door one day, I guess that'd be all right too.
I don't care how it gets back. I would be happy to have them back.
You don't have any Italian friends around town, do you?
That was who I worked for.
Oh, I got you.
Actually, and they're always good to their pastors. They're good to their own people.
Absolutely.
So they were very, very good to me. No, they were really great people. But they had connections to ways of getting things back. But anyway, no, I don't want to go down that road.
Sure,
here,
but if someone's listening or knows someone,
right,
that would be helpful.
It would be very nice to get those cards back. Yeah.
But that being said, we are looking for volunteers.
Yes.
Like we were talking earlier, but we need folks to help run the day-to-day operations at the ministry as well, or at the shelter, all the stuff.
Right. We do need volunteers, and we've always had a great base of volunteers, but like I said last time, a lot of our volunteers are in their 70s, 80s.
They've been doing this for
90s,
20 plus years and
20 years.
Yeah.
Some of them have been here for 20 years.
Imagine that. I don't think you have any original.
We do.
Oh, is there one like Cody from the very beginning?
We have 2 original, Alberta and Charlton Curry. Those 2 are awesome. They're the most wonderful people, and they've been volunteering for 20 years. They've been there since the beginning.
Well,
yeah, absolutely.
And I'm going to take a stab. You need some younger backs, people that can move heavy things, so these poor folks don't have to be doing that all the time.
You're exactly right. So when we're unloading a pallet, and each one of those boxes weighs 40 to 60 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
When you're my age, I'll be 70 here in a couple of years. So it's you think twice. I always do that.
By the way, I would have never guessed you're near 70. I bet about 15 to 20 years younger.
Thank you very much. So, no, I always do the lift test.
Yeah.
I pull on it, I lift it up, and I think, should I or shouldn't I?
Right.
If it's the shouldn't I just put it back down and try to get somebody else to help me with it or get it. But, yes, we do need younger people. Even when I was in my 40s, I could still do everything I could do in my 20s. And when you hit 50, as people say, the check engine light comes on.
That's exactly where I'm at right now, where I have in my head.
All right.
Yeah, no
you
problem.
Can do it.
Until I do it, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. But
that's
then,
where I'm at in life.
Then you get in your 60s, you think, no, I'm not even going to try. I would love to snow ski, but I don't dare.
That's right.
my knee, my back, it's just not worth it. So anyway, yeah, we need some people. We need some people in your 30s, 40s, 50s, or even 20s.
Absolutely.
But to come in and help us.
Families
stock some
would be
shelves.
great.
Oh yeah,
we love families coming
in the summer. We do have families who come out and volunteer, and we love that.
Absolutely. And so maybe there's I don't know. Maybe there's a few homeschool families we incorporate some of that in your curriculum.
Absolutely. And we do have homeschool families from time to time who come out and volunteer.
All would love to. Anytime we can instill the server's heart in young folks and have opportunities to do that, love to do that, because when you show them this now, more likely when they are on their own and doing their things, they're going to be doing stuff just like that wherever they end up. So we wanted and let's face it, maybe they're the next one. Maybe they're the next that are going to be the next 20, 30 year volunteers here.
Right.
And so, and I imagine you need from, kind of stocking and the organizing stuff to more of the outreach type stuff too.
Yeah, we need both. We have people who take the groceries out to the cars. We have people who receive the groceries when the truck comes in. And we stock our shelves, we load them into the freezers and the coolers, and then we have people who sort. We have people who go through, because we have to do first in, first out, so we look at all the dates. And then we have people who repack. So if we get bulk items, we have to repack them in smaller items, and we've got a repack room that's a safe, clean room. And so that's where we repack all the stuff. And then we have people who serve breakfast to the homeless every morning.
Nice.
And so, yeah, there's all kinds of stuff to do. So if you like the one-on-one FaceTime with the homeless or with the clients, and a lot of people do. They really, they want to have interaction.
Want to meet people and talk to people and interact. Yeah.
We need people to do that. We need people just to go out among our clients when they're eating breakfast and say, hey, can I get you something else? Sure. Get you another cup of coffee or something like that. And just really, we just want to treat them like normal, like they're at a restaurant somewhere and we're just going to love on them. How can we serve you and bless you? Because you build rapport with them, you build up confidence with them, and then they'll trust you to help them.
Absolutely. What you're doing secretly is tearing down walls.
Hey, exactly.
That's what you're doing.
Exactly what we're going to do.
You're bringing love and kindness and humanity to people that, quite frankly, are having a lack of that probably at this point in their lives right now.
There's a gentleman that I helped with a bus ticket this week because he was staying at the Homeless Coalition, but he just couldn't do it. Couldn't keep the curfew, couldn't stay inside the four walls. And he said, I don't know how old the guy is. I think he's probably in his 60s or 70s, maybe 60s probably. But he said, I just can't do it. I said, I said, where are you going to stay? He said, out here in the street in the cold. I said, well, why? He said, I just can't stay in that place. I said, well, it's a nice place, nice people. He said, I can't stay inside. I need to get out when I need to get out. So he can't keep curfew, which, when they lock the door at night and the curfew is until 6 o'clock, and if you go out, then you set the alarm off, and it's a big deal. And so he had gone out, set the alarm off at 2 o'clock in the morning and that sort of thing. So we try to help people, but sometimes they just can't, for whatever reason, they can't stay inside. So there are always going to be those kind of people that it's going to be a perpetual thing that we're always going to be helping them. So, he's been, the Community of Hope helps him in Las Cruces when he's over there. Actually, this is another situation where we get this all the time. People are flown in here for medical purposes, either the helicopter or the plane. In his case, he came on the plane, ambulance picked him up at the airport out here, brought him to the hospital. They treated him, released him back on the streets. He's got nowhere to go, got no money to get home, doesn't know anybody here. So
what he really needs is medical help.
He needed that. Yeah, he got
But
that.
he probably sounds like still, maybe not Band-Aids and stuff. It sounds like he needs a lot of mental therapy help. And
he did.
Because clearly there's something going on where he can't be inside. And there's some trauma, there's some experiences there that he needs to address.
Yeah. And you talk about tearing down walls. That's the kind of, he can't stay inside walls.
Yeah.
And so, but man, when some of the people have gone through what these people have gone through, you hear their stories and talk to them. And when they finally open up to you, you think, well, dear Jesus, there's no wonder they are where they are. They hadn't had a chance their whole life. They have been beat up from the time they were kids, passed around from house to house, living on the streets. That's the only thing they know.
That's right.
And man, if you can just get them to open up enough to say, let me help you see what a normal life is like. Let's get you in the homeless coalition.
Absolutely.
Let's get you a job. Let's get you an ID. Let's let you see what it's like just to not have to struggle every single day of your life just to think, what am I going to eat today? Where am I going to stay tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to beat me up tonight? Who's going to rob me? That sort of thing. Just to be able to live a normal life.
Most of us don't realize, especially I'm going to say people listening right now, how blessed we are in our lives
and we are,
and the things we
absolutely.
And sometimes it takes a whole lifetime to learn it, but we all aren't dealt the same deck of cards when we're brought
true.
into this earth.
Yeah.
Not all of us are handed the straight flush.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us get and so that's where you have to, regardless of what you think of what people and did, and I'm sure, yes, people need to be responsible for actions. I'm not saying everyone gets passes and things.
Of course, yeah.
But
you don't help them. You don't help them if you give them passes for doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
You just reward their bad choices with temporary consequences that are not realistic.
Absolutely. But to judge someone based on what their lifestyle is, none of us have that right.
You have no idea what they've been through.
None of us have that right. Because none of us have walked in those shoes. Even if you've walked in hard shoes and you've done your thing, it wasn't that person's struggle.
Right.
And quite frankly, they may have started from a different point than you. Maybe you had a good home life and everything, and this person may not. If you don't know from the beginning, like, how do you know right from wrong if someone doesn't teach you?
That's true, yeah.
You don't know. You just put on this earth.
For them, right is whatever I have to do to survive, Yeah.
And so that's the mindset I want people to think about when you look at the home. Next time you see someone on the street corner there do something, and I know it's easy to judge, and I get it, your own safety, and if you're with your kids, you're like, no, I don't want, and I get all that. But don't look at them as pariah. Don't look at that. They're just humans that need that. At the end of the day, if you sat down and had a cup of coffee with one of them, you'd probably have an enlightening discussion that you'd probably come away with more than you walked in with.
Yeah,
I would guarantee
that's true.
that.
And I enjoy that. I enjoy sitting down. I did that with this gentleman yesterday. Just sat out there on the curb with him and talked to him. So, what's your story? Where are you from? How'd you end up here? And that's that sort of thing. Just find out what's going on in their life. Just let them know somebody really cares.
Yeah, and
we want to tell them, go get a job, go do this. I'm telling you, Mike, I wouldn't hire most of them. You can't hire them. They're a liability. The drug addiction problem, alcohol addiction.
First.
Yeah, exactly. Emotional problems. Let's get you fixed first. Let's get you just in a right mind where it's not the drugs talking or the alcohol talking or even the street talking, but get you off of the street for a while, get you out of the drugs, out of the alcohol situation, and find out who you really are. And then let's get you an ID, and let's get you a job. And so many of those people, it works out, Mike. It really does. If you just can get somebody to where they can just breathe, sleep through a whole night, in a regular bed, have a regular meal, have a regular life, and all of a sudden they think, you know what, I like this. I think I want to live this way.
It's I'm guessing it's really hard for people that have never had to live that. Like, if you've never had to live your life to where you were constantly worried about basic needs or survival or things. I'm not talking neighbor squabbles and so this. I'm talking like I legit do not know if I'm going to make it through the night here because I don't know how cold it is. I mean, and when you're constantly doing that day, and then when you get through that one, you're just planning for the next one. And like you said, if you just have a moment where for a half a second you're not worried about where you're going to eat tonight, what you're going to eat tonight, where you're going to stay tonight, who's going to attack me tonight, whatever fears that that goes out there, I'm telling you that your brain, the human brain, does amazing things to protect you from the most awful stuff and all that thing. And really, that's the thing. These folks' brains have been built creating the walls, creating the self-defense mechanisms, everything they can to survive.
And Mike, you know what it's like when you have a sleepless night. You wake up at 1 o'clock and you look at the clock, you think, I got to go to sleep, and it's 4 o'clock and you're still, maybe I can get 2 hours of sleep left. You end up getting 2 or 3 hours sleep. That next day, you're in a fog all day, right? Your mind, you're not thinking clearly, you're not sharp. Imagine living that way 365 days a year. It's no wonder that they can't think right. Get them off the streets, get them in the homeless coalition, let them have a regular night's sleep, and then wake up the next morning and think, hey, I can think a little clearly today. Yeah.
And this is where, but this leads to the other stuff. So when they're saying, well, they're drug addicts, they're out. Well, guess what? You know why they got that way?
Yeah.
More than likely, it's because they're dealing with this, and the brain, you know,
well, they want to medicate themselves.
They want to feel better. And guess what? The drug made them feel better, even if it was for 30 minutes.
And if they weren't on drugs or alcohol before they were on the streets, if they've been on the streets for a year or so, I guarantee you they're on drugs and alcohol now because they have tried so hard to medicate their pain.
Almost the only way to survive at that
exactly.
point, unless they got some kind of constitution that is unhuman.
But there's hope. There's hope. We help get them off the streets. We help feed them every day. We love them. We give them the love of God. We tell them that God can change their life, give them a new beginning, give them a fresh start.
And tear down the walls.
That's right. And so that's what we do every day. That's why I love what I do at Harvest Ministries. I really do. And I mean, what's better than that? You go to work every day and you love God and you love people and you feed the hungry.
You see hard stories every single day, but you also see the successes every day.
Absolutely.
And that's where, ain't going to lie, volunteering there is going to probably run the emotional gamut. But I'm going to take a stab. At the end of the day, there's more happy tears than sad tears.
Yeah, it is. It's good when you finish the day and you think, okay, we've done what God called us to do today. Yeah. And also, like, this has just happened this last week. So here's something else to say before we get run out of time, and that is that we needed to put new flooring down in Harvest. Our carpet was 15 years old, and it's had a lot of
You guys will use
a lot of
to
kind of heavy traffic on it,
Yeah.
And so we're going to replace the carpet, but in the back at our freight room had big cracks in the concrete, and every time the environment will come in and they'll check us for everything. We always pass.
I want to ding you on that.
Yeah, we always pass with flying colors, except they always say, you can't clean this floor properly with all those cracks in it. So we said, okay, let's bite the bullet and get it fixed. So we were supposed to be able to do half of the building, seal it off, and they were going to do half the building, and then we'd do the other half of the building that way we could do it without closing. Mm-hmm. But when they got in there, we thought, you know what, this chemical they're going to be using to do the floors, we really can't be in the building. And then another issue came up, and they said, now we're going to have to do there's some problem with the concrete. We're going to have another company come in. We actually had to be shut down for 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so people are saying, hey, Harvest is closing their doors. They're going out of business.
Not for good.
We are not going out of business. So we never stopped working. We kept picking up from the grocery stores and from all of our.
So you guys went remote for 3 weeks.
So what we did then was everything that we picked up, we distributed to the other agencies here in town who were giving food out, and we continue feeding the homeless every morning. So we kept feeding the homeless out of the chapel in the back, and we kept distributing food to the other agencies who were distributing food. So we didn't stop working, and we didn't stop distributing food. We just stopped opening our doors for food distribution.
Gotcha. The building wasn't available, but the ministry was going.
Right. So we basically had to vacate the building for three weeks. And so we went straight from the truck to the other agencies, or from the truck to what we needed. We actually prepared for the homeless before this ever happened. But just to let everybody know, we are in good shape. Matter of fact, we're in better shape than we were.
Floor's nice and
brand new. And shout out to Liberty Coating and Justin Owen. They did an amazing job. Good. Brandon Arnold at Custom Construction. Those guys worked a couple of nights. They worked till 9 o'clock at night to try to get this finished so we could get open. I mean, that's
awesome.
They really busted it to try to work with us, get everything done. Sure. So those guys were awesome. Their business did an amazing job. So
they understood the importance of the mission.
They did. Yeah. So we're open, ready to go, and receiving clients. And we never have been shut down. We just diverted everything for a while.
We just had to turn out the light at the building for a minute.
We did.
But
the trucks kept running, and the homeless kept being fed.
And that's something too we haven't talked about in this conversation. But Harvest Ministries is kind of the distributor for other food organizations. When you hear the Roadrunner food banks and all that, they come to Harvest to bring that stuff, and they dole it out to the other agencies and stuff.
Right. So we're the hub for distribution for Chaves County for Roadrunner.
Yep.
So we distribute to any of the other Roadrunner agencies that give out food. They get from Roadrunner. They also get from us from the what we pick up from local stores and all of that.
Gotcha.
So we distribute that to them as well.
So you get from them, but also add to the add to the list a little bit.
Almost half of what we get in goes out to other agencies. About half goes out to all of our clients.
And all stays here in Chaves County feeding folks. And you'd be amazed the amounts of food that come in and goes out as quick as it comes in.
Yeah, this last year we were, I forget. don't have the figures right in front of me, but we're over 900,000, so we're close to 1 million pounds last year.
Usually in the beginning or end of the year we talk about
statistics. Yeah, right. Right.
But
I'm 3 months into it, so I've forgotten. But it was. I know this year we were just short of 1 million pounds.
Good deal.
Yeah.
It's good and bad. It's great the food's there, but it's bad that needs that great. But,
yeah, and also we've got our letter carriers food drive coming up on the 10th of May.
So that's usually around the May time.
Yeah,
frame,
so that's a month and a half away just to put the bug in everybody's ear.
We'll be back and talking about that here.
Yeah.
But please, I guess if folks are interested in volunteering, what's probably the best way to reach out to you?
They can either call us 624-2415, 575, and or they can on Facebook send us a message on our Facebook page,
just under Harvest Ministries,
or on our website. Yeah, it's Harvest Ministries of Roswell. Yep.
Yeah, and you can Google that; it comes right up, or Harvest Ministries,
or call us, or come by. Just stop by if you want to stop by. We'll give you. We do this all the time. We'll give you a tour of the building, show you everything that we do, and say, hey, you see somewhere here you could fit in? We'd love to have you.
Yeah, we're right on Main Street. If you're not familiar, what's the actual physical address? 601
North Main.
There you go.
Yeah,
2 blocks from where we're at right now.
2 blocks north of the courthouse, and we can see it out this window right here.
You can't miss it. It'll be right there. If you're heading north, it'll be there on your right. If you're going south, it'll be on your left. Mark, did we cover enough for now, or do we got? I'm sure we always got more to talk about.
Yeah, I think we can.
But folks, if you've got the time and the ability, we would love to have you, even if it's for a couple hours a week or whatever time you're willing to offer. We would love to have it. And trust me, I think once you see everything going and see what Harvest Ministry does, I think you're going to be impressed, and you're going to be like, man, what else can we do to make this better? So please reach out. We would love to see you'd be amazed to see the good heart that Roswell has, and you'll see it through minutes.
Mike, one more thing. The reason that we have some people who've been there for 20 years and others who've been there for 10 years, 15 years is because Harvest Ministries is a great place to volunteer. Yeah. It's just that a lot of our people have gotten to the age where they can't do it all the time.
We can't stop. The time marches on.
No, people come in early, they get a cup of coffee, they sit around and talk until we start working, then everybody jumps in. It is a fun, wonderful place to work at. And if you're looking for some place to jump in, come try Harvest. I have no doubt that you'll enjoy it.
I about to say, if you're looking to expand your social circles and things, you might come in looking to help, come out looking to feed your own soul a little bit.
Yeah.
So. Well, Mark, as always,
thanks again, Mike.
Visit. We'll see you here probably in about a month or so, or a little less here, as we talk about the postal carrier stuff. But folks, reach out, and every time you see folks out there with the homeless and stuff, think about how you can help in different ways. Don't not handing the money in the street corners. Working through organizations like Harvest Ministries is the way to go. So, thank you, sir.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, it is 8:53. Let's pause for news and some stock report and some commercials. Don't go away.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Sorello. An arrest in a cold case murder in Roswell. RPD says 36-year-old Matthew Trujillo is charged with the October 2009 killing of 30-year-old Stephen Dorham Jr. Dorham was gunned down near Walker Boulevard and Iman Street in South Roswell. Police have said that the two may have been arguing about drugs. Trujillo was identified as the suspect in the case at the time, but was only apprehended recently. He was already in custody for 3 other unrelated cases. The Roswell Police Department also requesting some help in locating 42-year-old Gabriel Jose Horton. Horton was reported to RPD as missing on Sunday. Family members reported not having seen or heard from Horton in as much as 3 weeks. Horton's clothing description is unknown. He is about 5'9" and weighs about 220 pounds. You can see his picture on the Roswell Police Facebook page. Anyone with information about the location of Gabriel Jose Horton is urged to call Roswell Police immediately. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
All across America, this is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
I'm James Flippin. U.S. stocks finished higher yesterday, a big-time rally on Wall Street to kick off the trading week as sentiment got a boost yesterday, the expectation being from some corners of the market that President Trump may be softening his stance on tariffs. The April 2nd deadline continues to loom, in which a series of tariffs are set to take effect. The president has indicated the levies may be more narrow in scope than previously believed, and some industry-specific tariffs could be even further delayed here. President Trump describing it as a potential break for some countries, and on Friday of last week, he said there may be some flexibility, in his words, concerning reciprocal tariffs. Zooming out a bit, the prospect of a less intense disruption of trade gave stocks a shot in the arm Monday as the tariff issue and weaker consumer sentiment has been a drag on the major averages recently. Economic data, the S&P Global U.S. Manufacturing PMI dropped in March. The Services PMI rose. Company-specific news, e-vehicle giant Tesla, which has been slipping for 9 straight weeks, saw its share price pop. Meta Platforms and NVIDIA also finished higher. With business, I'm James Flippin.
This is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
Greg Kelly here with an urgent retirement warning. Even as President Trump stands up to China, billionaires are fleeing Wall Street. But I trust the experts at Colonial Metals Group to help you. So visit freegoldguide.com/Kelly or call 800-655-5186 for your free gold guide on how to bulletproof your IRA and 401k with tax-free gold. You could also qualify for a free home safe and as much as $7,500 in free silver. Once again, that's freegoldguide.com/Kelly.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. Got some softball action I wanted to point out for you tonight. It's Goddard playing at Dexter. Goddard is 8-4 on the season. Dexter is 5-0. Let's catch you up with what these teams did over the past couple days, Friday and Saturday. Goddard was at the Artesia Invitational. He beat Cobre on Friday 5-4, but then fell to Los Lunas 15-3. But the Lady Rockets bounced back to beat Robertson 7-1. Meanwhile, Dexter was playing at its own tournament, the Lindsay Callaway Invitational, and Dexter did not lose a game in that tournament on Friday, shutting out Raton by a score of 10-0, and then beating Always Tough Loving by a score of 12-2 on Saturday. That may bode well for the Demons down the line. So that's tonight. It's Goddard playing at Dexter. Starts at 6 o'clock. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things are looking pretty good today. Very warm. We'll be in the mid to upper 80s. High pressure parked over our area for now, so we should get sunshine, and the wind will stay fairly light. It'll be clear for the overnight hours. Our low in the upper 40s to low 50s. We do have a quick low pressure system moving through the area on Wednesday, so we'll get a mix of sunshine and clouds, maybe a shower or two, and our high around 80. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Artesia Main Street is bringing the fun to downtown. On Friday, March 28th, following the main event car cruise, enjoy the Downtown Street Dance with live music from Mammoth Cults. Plus food trucks, great tunes, and an evening of nonstop fun, all with free admission. Don't miss the Downtown Street Dance with music from Mammoth Cults happening Friday, March 28th, 6:30 p.m. in the heart of downtown Artesia. Paid for by Artesia Lodgers Tax.
This is the time of year we can get all 4 seasons in just one day. Hi, this is Ben Manette from Roswell Seed Company. 1 minute you're sweating in the sun, and the next minute you've got slush in your shoes. But that's winter in Roswell, and after 127 years, we're starting to get used to it. It's too early to plant very much, but you can fertilize pecan trees, spray for dandelions, order your bees, and pick up a new seed catalog. So come see us at Roswell Seed. Like Jim Gill would say, enjoy the warm days, but don't go far from the fire.
Everyone has a community, a neighborhood, school, place of worship, or other chosen groups. Communities can provide support when you need it, including helping your kids avoid underage drinking and other substance use. Learn more at talktheyhearyou.samhsa.gov.
Your home for Coast to Coast AM in Roswell, 106.5, Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Democrats are outraged. Senate Republicans none too pleased about a reporter's claim that he was able to join an online session with top defense officials regarding plans to attack the Houthi rebels in Yemen.
Democrats are demanding to know how the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic magazine was allowed to join a group chat. They criticized the National Security Advisor Mike Waltz and others for discussing details about a planned missile attack via a commercially available app and for not doing more to verify the identities of all involved. Majority Leader John Thune told reporters on Monday Republican senators will get to the bottom of what happened. Bob Agnew reporting.
Meanwhile, Defense Secretary Hegseth takes issue with the claim made by the Atlantic editor-in-chief Jeffrey Goldberg. Well, it's a sign of a warming relation between Washington and Moscow.
The Kremlin confirms Russian President Vladimir Putin has given President Trump a portrait Putin had commissioned of President Trump. Spokesman Dmitry Peskov says it was given to Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff, during a visit to Moscow earlier this month. In an interview with Tucker Carlson, Witkoff described Trump as clearly touched by the portrait, which he described as beautiful. In 2018, Putin gave Trump a soccer ball that the Secret Service checked for listening devices before Trump gave it to his son, harkening back to a Soviet-era gift to a U.S. diplomat that turned out to be bugged. I'm Ben Thomas.
A closely watched barometer of consumer confidence, the Conference Board's Consumer Confidence Index, fell for a fourth straight month this month as Americans' anxiety about future expectations declined to a 12-year low. Following yesterday's talks with the Russians, today U.S. ceasefire negotiators back at the table meeting with Ukrainian representatives. On Wall Street, the Dow up 86 points, NASDAQ ahead 85. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
A document dump of significance in Argentina, ordered by the country's president. It could shed new light on Argentina's dark past.
30,000 people are estimated to have been killed by the military authorities between 1976 and 1983, when democracy was restored. Mr. Milei said he wanted Argentines to get a full picture of what happened during that period, including murders committed by left-wing guerrillas that were active throughout the 1970s. He said the current narrative was controlled by the left. Human rights campaigners and the opposition have welcomed the decision, but many fear most of the documents incriminating the military and the secret services have already been destroyed. The files will begin to be released on Monday.
That's BBC's Leonardo Rocha. Ukrainian officials report more Russian attacks overnight, this time targeting the Kiev region along with areas of eastern Ukraine. 76 airstrikes in all, according to the Ukrainians. Townhall.com. A double overtime thriller and an injury to one of the sport's top players, headlining Monday's women's NCAA tournament action.
Sarah Tabiasu made a tying three-pointer late in the fourth quarter and scored 8 of her 26 points in the second overtime to help fourth-seeded Maryland outlast fifth-seeded Alabama 111-108 to advance to the Sweet 16 of the women's NCAA tournament.
It was really a fight. We went double overtime. We just kept playing for each other.
Kiki Iriafen scored 36 as top seed USC lost star guard Juju Watkins to a first knee injury, but still routed ninth-seeded Mississippi State 96-59.
Respectfully, nobody cares on Mississippi State that we lost her, so I think for us it was just making sure that we got the job done. We want our season to be extended.
I'm Gethin Coolbaugh.
Firefighting crews North Carolina battling wildfires ravaging mountainous areas, still trying to recover from Hurricane Helene. Townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel wishing, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres Inviernos
of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Tuesday.
Yes, the
Tuesday
of days.
Taco Tuesday, right?
Some would say, yeah.
People eating tacos today.
That's right.
I know.
Or it's a good day to work through your feelings. Talk about it Tuesday. Talk it out Tuesday. 2 for Tuesday. That's what we used to say back in the day.
Well, why is it always got to be tacos? Why can't it be like Taquito Tuesday?
Could be. Just as long as it works with the rhyme scheme.
Tostada Tuesday.
Right. Could be tabbouleh Tuesday.
Yeah.
I love a good tabbouleh.
I would too. Or do I? I don't know. What's tabbouleh?
It's like a Middle Eastern, it's kind of like couscous.
Okay.
You ever had couscous?
Maybe.
As a man who's been to Kuwait, you should have had at least a little bit.
To be honest,
couscous.
I've had things I had no idea what I ate.
Right.
It's so maybe.
I've had it's called bakalala. But yeah, it's similar to couscous, only it's served cold. It's usually got some dill in it.
Okay.
My sister makes it not every year, but almost every year at Thanksgiving. It's like one of my favorites.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How did that tradition start?
Just because my family has really weird. I don't know if you know this about me, but our family has really weird tastes. A lot of it, I know, right? A lot of it, believe it or not, actually started when my mom was pregnant with my brother. So this is like back in 90.
Was that a weird craving she had?
97. No, so my mom had gestational diabetes.
Okay.
And so we had to completely change, as a family, our diet.
Right.
And most of the stuff we were getting was from, now kids, before Whole Foods was Whole Foods, there was a store called Wild Oats. So we'd go to the Wild Oats in Albuquerque and my mom would get, that's where we started doing like falafel, a lot of Middle Eastern stuff,
food, okay.
tabbouleh, because that was the stuff that she could have. It was light on the heavier seasonings, and it didn't mess with her diet. But we've always kind of liked weird stuff like that. So the tabbouleh thing just sort of was a family thing, and then
Gotcha.
It just kind of became like hey, you got a package of ready to make tabbouleh, might as well make a batch.
I got some right here in my pocket. So. My thing is, certain those seasonings, they hit me in a smell that just don't.
It's okay. So here's the thing. I have a problem with a lot of Mediterranean style cooking. They use cinnamon in way too liberally in savory dishes. And I really, really don't like that.
Well,
you've ever had a curry, like a certain kind of curry, it'll have a cinnamon or a cardamom
I'm real hit
in
or
it.
miss on curries. I'm kind of, it's not my, and part of the problem is, and this is, it's a sense memory. I just remember when I was in Kuwait with the military, and when we had some downtime, we'd go over to the gym,
right,
which was on a Kuwaiti air base.
I call it James.
It was a Kuwaiti gym because we were on a Kuwaiti air base in a little American section we sat up. But if you want to go to
America
the gym,
land,
yeah, where all our people live. But if you wanted to go to the gym or because they were pretty much relegated to being on the base, so we'd walk over to the gym. But there we mix with Kuwaiti military, Kuwaiti personnel, people that are there all the time. And so we go but anytime you go into the gym or to the barber shop, Oh my gosh, that smell of curry was just so
It's because it's
so strong.
Just emanating from all of their pores.
Yeah, and it's just, and then like when you're like, oh, I got to go to the bathroom, and then you walk to the bathroom, and them toilets and them bathrooms ain't like you toilets in your bathroom.
Yeah.
Them toilets are the ones with the foot marks and the standing, and ain't no paper in sight. And so you're like, I ain't doing nothing here.
And that's why we eat with our right hands,
And that's
everybody.
why we're in the American side over here where there's toilets, toilet paper, and things like that.
Yes, very much.
So when I think of curry dishes, my brain goes to that time,
Right.
and none of that is appealing to me.
Well, curry smells a lot better when it's not coming out of a man's pores, just for the record. But I will say that there's a it's like a gas station. It's like halfway between here and Oklahoma. I've only stopped at it a couple times, and it's just kind of a rundown little gas station. But they have an Indian food place like in the back. And it's like the only Indian food place maybe in that part of Texas. And for like a mile around, as you're like coming up to the place, you can literally just smell curry coming, like emanating from the building.
Yeah,
it is one of the most
it rivals chitlins.
Odoriferous dishes for sure.
It rivals chitlins. Ain't nobody beat chitlins yet. But
chitlins is fine if you clean it right.
You can clean till there's nothing left to clean, and it still smells that way.
It's true. It really gets into the nooks and crannies, much like curry into a Kuwaiti
They
man.
pre-clean them when you buy them, and they still smell like butt.
Yeah, it's sort of the same thing with me and tripe. Like I'll eat menudo as long as I've had it from this place before, and I know that it's clean because I've had some rough menudo.
Well, and from where I grew up in the DC area, I'm soul food country. The key to good chitlins is to put hog maws in it, which is the opposite of beef stomach. It's pork stomach. So yes, you got to have and so it's a game eat situation if you don't know.
Yeah.
But if you got people that know how to cook it, it's all right.
Right.
You bring your hot sauce, but it's all right.
Yeah, hot sauce makes everything taste better.
I don't want to eat on the regular, but I'll eat it once or twice. Kind of like Rocky Mountain oysters. You can try once.
I just randomly watched the was that from Fletch? The Rocky Mountain oyster scene with Chevy
been in
Chase.
a couple movies.
No, specifically the Chevy Chase one, where he beats the record. I can't remember what that was.
No, that was
it Funny Farm?
Funny, no, not Funny Farm. I believe that was The Great Outdoors. No, that was an Aykroyd. That was John Candy. That was the 69er steak. You know what? It might have been Funny Farm.
It was Funny Farm. Yep. Yeah, the sheep.
I'll say it was one of the lesser Chevy Chase movies that was in.
The key is to get right up on him.
That's right. That's exactly. I remember that scene. Because that right before that's like, how do you get to that? You want to take a left where the barn used to be? Okay. Funny Farm. That's actually an underrated Chevy
really
Chase comedy.
Especially if you grew up rural. Like it kind of hits close.
I
want
to remember it wasn't his female lead like famous too at the time.
Yeah, it was.
I don't remember who.
She's in that scene too.
I don't remember who it is, but
I'll be honest. They make it in that scene of the movie. They kind of make them look good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a huge Rocky.
I've had them. They're tasty.
Madeline Smith.
Yeah, I've seen her before, and I think she was kind of big in that time, or a name and a face at the time. Kind of Maggie Smith.
No, Madeline Smith.
Oh, say Maggie Smith. That's
not
Professor McGonagall.
Yeah, not McGonagall.
I was like, whoa, she wasn't that young in that show.
She was 65 and his female lead.
She was good in there.
She plays young.
Yeah. So, let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We're going to get you up to date with the weather and all that here in just a few minutes. Then we'll be joined by Police Chief Lance Bateman, Deputy Chief Albert Aldana as well from the Roswell Police Department. Have a cool conversation, talk a little bit about Police Department, some of the things they've got going on.
I got to admit, when I got here this morning, I'm like, y'all are here for the radio, right? just want to make sure.
Sean Smalls. Are you Sean Smalls?
Is that an alias, sir? It is.
AKA.
That's right. I never really thought about it like that, but I do. It is nice to have an AKA.
And then he goes, you also go by Shorty Smalls or just Shorty.
And Justin Long? Is that you?
Right.
From the movies?
But we'll have Deputy Chief join us here in just a few. We'll also get you updated with news, the local variety, Wall Street business update, and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. But first, your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things are looking pretty good today. Very warm. We'll be in the mid to upper 80s. High pressure parked over our area for now, so we should get sunshine, and the wind will stay fairly light. It'll be clear for the overnight hours. Our low in the upper 40s to low 50s. We do have a quick low pressure system moving through the area on Wednesday, so we'll get a mix of sunshine and clouds, maybe a shower or two, and our high around 80. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 61 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 27%. Winds currently out of the north at 6 miles per hour. Sunny and warm today. 88 are expected high. Winds out of the north at 5 miles per hour, shifting to the southeast later this afternoon. For tonight, mostly clear. Overnight low of 49. Southeast winds, at around 5 miles per hour. Wednesday, partly cloudy, 82, smidge cooler, but still plenty warm. North winds, 5 to 10. Wednesday night, tomorrow night, we are looking at a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms, mainly before midnight. Mostly cloudy, overnight low of 55 degrees with south winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. And then Thursday, we're looking at a 40% chance at showers early, then a chance at showers and thunderstorms for the afternoon. Mostly cloudy with a high of 77 expected. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday, sunny skies, 86 for a high. Saturday, 84 and sunny and 81 for your Sunday. All right, it is 9:16. We're going to take a 3-minute break, and then we'll be joined here by Roswell Police Chief Lance Bateman and Deputy Chief Albert Aldana on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Artesia Rodeo Days is heading to the Artesia Horse Council Arena at the Eddy County Fairgrounds March 27th, 28th, and 29th. Gates open at 6 p.m. and the rodeo begins at 7:30 nightly. Enjoy front row family fun, a calf scramble for the kids, trick riding, the rankest bulls and broncos on the circuit, as well as full concessions, food trucks and vendors, and New Mexico's own Blackcock Brewery on site. Help them pack the house every night at the upcoming Artesia Rodeo Days, coming to the Artesia Horse Council Arena at the Eddy County Fairgrounds March 27th, 28th, and 29th. Gates open at 6 p.m. Rodeo starts at 7:30 nightly. Thank you to sponsors KC Light Towers, Amigo Machinery in Roswell, Benny's Western Store in Artesia, and Tape Branch Artesia. Early bird tickets are only $10 and available in Artesia at Benny's Western Store and Tape Branch, in Roswell at Amigo Machinery, and in Carlsbad at Forest Tire. Gate tickets will be $15, or you can find them online at rodeoticket.com. Ad paid for by Artesia Lodgers Tax.
Are you ready to succeed? Earn your FFA certification through ENMU Roswell's Aviation Maintenance Technology Program. ENMU Roswell has the only FFA Part 147 airframe and power plant school in southeast New Mexico. Receive commercial and general aviation training, hands-on training with Operation Aircraft, Boeing commercial experience, advanced composite repair training, and more. And ENMU Roswell offers in-state tuition for veterans too. Learn more about this exciting program on campus or online at roswell.enmu.edu. Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell. Success starts here.
Hi, Chef Anthony Noble here with the Valley Cafe at 801 West Brasher. We love serving you our delicious meals for lunch and dinner. The next time you're in on Monday or Tuesday, bring the family and take advantage of our kids' dinner special. With the purchase of an adult meal, you get a kids' meal for 20% off. That's right. Get the kids fed, save a little money, enjoy what I got cooking in the kitchen. Come visit us at 801 West Brasher in the Orange Building across from Church on the Move in Roswell. We have it all. Come taste and see.
Don't forget, you can also find the Valley Cafe on our website at toasttab.com/Valley Cafe. Also on DoorDash, Grubhub, and Uber Eats.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin & Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin & Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin & Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
Spring is here, and we're turning up the heat during the Sizzling Spring Sales event at Roswell Honda. Now through Saturday, save thousands on a sizzling selection of vehicles. Take $5,000 off a new 2025 Honda Ridgeline or $6,000 in total savings on 2025 Honda Odyssey. Or how about a 2023 Ford F-150 XLT, just $528 a month. Then join Roswell Honda this Saturday for free lunch and your chance to win a 5-burner all-black gas griddle. Drawing at 1, must be present to win. Get the deal you deserve during the Sizzling Spring Sales event at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
The octopus and the squid both have 3 hearts. That's why they eat so many Tums. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 20 minutes after 9 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning, we have Police Chief Lance Bateman here and Deputy Chief Albert O'Donnell as well. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
How's life behind the badge this morning?
Good. Until the wind starts blowing.
Right. Until, life and things happen. So, yeah. But first off, thank you guys for spending time with us on the show. Appreciate it. It's always great to talk to, our folks that see the day-to-day of what's going on in Roswell and stuff. And I always tell people, if you really want to see all of what Roswell's like, talk to a law enforcement officer. They see every nook and cranny of it, and they know the good parts, the bad, and there's parts of Roswell that some folks you wouldn't. That's Roswell, yes. And the only people who usually see it are people that live there and law enforcement, generally speaking. Mm-hmm. So, you guys have that unique kind of finger on the pulse of everything there, and it's kind of. I mean, and you guys can't do your job unless that's pretty much the only way you guys can. Your officers when they're out there, they're in the neighborhoods. They know, they're going. Because they work like beats, right? They have their area, and so they're there every day, and so they know, what's weird and what's just part of the neighborhood kind of thing. And that's how your men and women do their job every day, pretty much, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah. We have 7 different zones, I believe, or areas that we have officers in. Mm-hmm. Of course, they have to jump around to different areas because we're so short-handed right now.
Which, by the way, yes, love to have some more qualified men and women to be part of the team here.
Yeah, I'd love to. We're down, I think, 11 people right now.
You guys are, I've never heard yourself or sheriff or MSP or anybody else for that matter say, you know what, we're good right now. We got enough. You guys are pretty much, even when you're quote unquote at your numbers, that literally you're at your numbers for a week, and then a week later someone retires, or life happens, and then you're down again. So there's almost never a time when you guys aren't taking applications, or always looking for good qualified people to be part of the badge here. So if you're looking for a career with that you can really make a difference, RPD would love to talk to you about that.
Absolutely. I believe we're testing twice a month right now. Our recruiting division every other Saturday, I think.
Gotcha. What it is. And it's kind of. It's a little different than applying for other jobs. I would compare it to for folks that have joined the military. It's similar in that process. Is you don't walk in one day, raise your hand, and next here's a badge and you go to it. There's qualifications and stuff. Obviously, you go to police academy and things once you're hired on, but you guys really work with them leading up to it to get them ready for that kind of stuff. So by the time you go to the academy and all that, assuming you're getting hired on, you're not flying blind there, but like when you go through these testing dates, you guys work with folks that are really trying to do that, and making sure they're physically, all right, let's work out because you got to meet this need, or you got to pass this test, or we got to study, and so you work with those candidates as they're going through that process for the ones that really show the interest, show the drive, show the that they have the ability to do this kind of thing.
Yes. So we even have testing even if you can't come in on a Saturday.
Okay.
You just call us up and then we'll set something up, a time with you.
Excellent.
So
we can work around your schedule too.
Yes, sir.
See, that's they want you to become part of this is, so we're going to work with you. Obviously, the job is not for everybody. This is, if you have a server's heart, if you have the ability to be even keeled in when situations get hairy, because I guarantee you're going to run into one of those as a law enforcement officer. You need those folks that handle pressure, handle well under pressure, can be calm even when someone's yelling at you sometimes, and have the ability to de-escalate rather than escalate things. If you're one of those types of people that kind of are good at talking and negotiating, that'll serve you well as a law enforcement officer, I would say.
Yes.
Yeah, and when we get them into it, what I like about this department is we start the training right away before they even go to the academy. So sometimes we'll have somebody employed 4 or 5 months, and we put them through a field training program.
Give them a taste of what the day-to-day of being a police officer is like.
Exactly. So they're so far ahead by the time they start the academy, and then when they get back out, we can sometimes streamline it to get them directly on the streets instead of having to go through that training after.
Because they've kind of already did that prior to going to the academy. They already got that experience under their belt here, so to speak. So, and then there's also because I know like if you're underage, like because you got to be 21 to be a Roswell police officer, but if you're 18, you can be a service officer and serve in that capacity, and that's kind of like pre-cop training, and you do a lot of the things law enforcement do. And then when you turn 21, you're going to have that much experience when you go to the academy and go to be a full-fledged law enforcement officer.
Yeah, and it helps them with police report writing or listening to the radio. You know,
some of the minutia of the job here. Some of the, the day-to-day.
Oh, yes.
That doesn't get on the 8 o'clock, Thursday night drama show, but is very much vital part of the day-to-day of being a police officer.
Yeah, and it's been a huge success for the Roswell Police Department. I think right now we have 2 or 3 that are public service aides. And part of that, when they get hired, they know it builds them up to join the academy at 21. And I think almost everybody we've had since I've been here at least has gone right into the academy and become a police officer.
Well, and true, it also gets them familiar with the neighborhood and the neighborhood familiar with them.
Yes.
That relationship is, and so if they spent 2-3 years as a service officer, they're in neighborhoods, they're out in the street answering, like you said, filing reports and doing, they're not doing the.
Yeah, it builds a reputation with the community and with the department.
And so when they do get the full badge and they're there and they walk in the neighborhood, they're already going to have kind of a little bit of a relationship with some of those folks in the community. They already know the cut of that person's jib kind of thing, and so and to be honest, that's how you guys do your job day to day. It's, that trust that gets established between the neighborhoods that you work in and the people that are serving them. And that's how the job does not happen without that relationship.
Oh yeah.
So those folks will be better set up to do that kind of thing and really take the most advantage of it. I do want to ask you, kind of getting out of the recruiting side. Last month we got to talk to Deputy Fire Chief, and one of the things that issues, problems with the public they're dealing with that we talked about. I'm sure you deal with this same issue is driving when folks are when EMS, fire, police are trying to get to a scene. And the vehicles are going full lights and sirens and everything. One thing we were, telling the public is, look, those emergency vehicles always will be on the left when you go down. Like if you're going down Main Street and you hear the lights and sirens behind you or whatever, they're going to be left. So your job is to get right. Get right, get right, get right. That left lane, that's the lane we need to free up to allow fire truck, police vehicle, ambulance, whatever emergency vehicle we need to get through there. And so we're kind of educating that. I kind of want to ask you guys, I'm sure you deal with that kind of thing, but is there some other of those kinds of issues that we could share with the public that if you guys would be cognizant of this, you would make our officers' day just that much easier?
I think sometimes, and don't get me wrong, every time I see lights and sirens behind me, if I'm off duty, people tend to freak out.
Sure.
Just don't freak out.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, that's the biggest thing. If they can just come to a safe spot where they can move to the right, I mean, yeah, you're going to be in the way for a little bit, but it's not a big deal.
Sure.
I mean, I'd rather them move out of the way safely than
go crazy.
Than trying to go crazy and left and right. So, yeah, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, be calm. You're right. Because I've seen that, too, where I've seen people, and they'll be in that left, and I've literally watched them bump the median to get over and almost hit a light pole and probably damage the vehicle and everything. Like, wow, just you don't have to be that urgent. Just, let's do this safely here. But I know that's something that, and I don't care what census numbers or anyone says, Main Street Roswell is busier than it was 10 years ago. I don't care what anybody says. There's more cars, there's more traffic, there's more people on that road. And so we all need to be cognizant of that stuff.
And I think any emergency vehicle with lights and sirens looks aggressive from the rearview mirror.
Sure.
So
and they're going to be hauling butt depending on the nature of the call there. That there's a reason the lights and sirens are on. So
and just stay calm, find a safe spot to move to the right, and we'll be on our way.
Trust me, but the person driving the vehicle is trained to drive it a certain way, and we ask you, the public, to just get over and let them do it. They are, trust me, every police officer, every firefighter that drives one of these vehicles, I'm sure there's extensive training on these are what people do when you turn the lights on and sirens. You have to be cognizant of these things.
Oh, yes.
And so they are well trained, but make their life easier. They've got, and to be honest, the more you're being nervous and being that way, that's seconds that police car, that fire truck is not where it needs to be doing what it needs to do. So that's the big ticket. Is we want to make sure everybody gets safe, but please understand when you see a police car, you see a fire truck, and it's barreling down that left lane, it's always going to be the left lane. They're always going to be in the left lane. So if you see it, if you're in the rearview mirror and you see you've got a couple blocks to go, just make your way right in a casual way and make it a little easier.
Yes.
Now, and obviously, if you're stuck at a traffic light or something, and you can't move either way, then don't move. Stay there and let the emergency vehicle. They'll navigate accordingly to do that. So
oh yes.
If you're in a jam, they understand that and they'll act accordingly. But if you have the ability to get over, get over.
Yeah, and I think the emergency driving, especially, we've had some incidents in the last 6 months where we've had some crashes. We had one on Main Street. Where
that one was a couple weeks ago. I mean, you can't help it when you drive by it and see it.
Yeah, we had that one on North Main, and then we had one a couple months ago where, unfortunately, a person lost his life. And so trying to do our part also, we've got with FLETC. We're partnering with them to do more hands-on training.
Oh, good. So get your officers
training.
some more experience, because let's face it, you hope they're not having to do that stuff. But the likelihood of them having to do it, I don't know, once or twice a year is probably not unheard of.
Yeah, and we haven't really gone through it. Once you go through the academy, you don't get training afterwards on like pursuit driving or emergency driving. So FLETC, we reached out to them, and we're doing our first class, I believe, in April with 12 of our officers.
And really the policing philosophy and a lot of that stuff's changed. I'm talking nationally on some of that. I mean, I know some departments, obviously depending on locations and populace and all that, but like when you get in a high-speed chase situation or stuff, a lot of the rules and stuff kind of change on that. And I'm sure with your officers, it's a case-by-case deal. It's like if it's a lot of people, and they're like, we're going to break this off. But we're out in the middle of nowhere, which we have a lot of nowhere of. We can open it up.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's a good, you brought that up, and one of the things we've discussed as a staff is vehicle pursuits are real dangerous.
Yeah.
But there's a reason we're chasing somebody a lot of times.
What you're chasing is way worse if left to its own accord.
It could be. It could be, depending on, a lot of times we'll terminate a pursuit if we know the person that we're chasing, if it's non-felony. But what we've done is we've ramped up a drone program. So we actually have a couple drones.
The technology work for you.
Technology. We've started the Real-Time Crime Center here in Roswell, which is eventually we'll have live cameras on every stoplight, and there are cameras on every stoplight right now, but they're not live.
Sure. Well, they're not live.
They're not live.
Recorded. I got you.
So we started this last year, and we have an operations center in the police department, and it's live where somebody will monitor these cameras in public areas.
I think I've seen like I think I saw something on TV, and it was a bigger like a Florida, I think it was more like it was like a spring break situation. It was one of those Florida towns like Fort Lauderdale, one of those. And they literally had, I think what you're talking about here, it's like this room with these cameras or not cameras, monitors. And it almost looks like something out of a like Mission Control or something with a bunch of computers. And then literally there's an officer there just monitoring, and they can see, there's some riffraff on this corner, send a unit. There's something going on over here. So that's what you guys are basically setting up here for our community.
Well, yeah, and it'll stop vehicle pursuits. We can track people. We can back off and track them with cameras through town. And
sure, so you can just follow them, and then, all right, they're at the Whataburger now having lunch. Let's go get them.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the same thing when President Trump was, when the gentleman tried to assassinate him at the golf course. Or I can't remember, at the park.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the sheriff's department down there in Florida where they were at tracked him on Real-Time Crime Center. Nice. They use their technology, and that's how they end up catching him. So
nice.
We're hoping that'll benefit Roswell. And
just GG was curious, so the person that serves that, is that more like a dispatcher role? Or is that a full-fledged law enforcement officer that does that? I was just curious, because I figure like if you call 911, it'd be someone like that's monitoring that, or do you actually have an officer that, I guess if need be, could leave it to go take care of a scene if needed?
It'll be both. So at all times, we'll have an officer in there, a certified police officer, and then civilian staff running them. So
just more eyes.
The reason for the officer is the police team concept. If if a civilian were to see somebody driving recklessly or commit a crime,
makes sense.
The officer, a lot of times, depending on the severity of the crime, would have to witness the violation to take immediate action.
So he can
if
do
there's
that.
a certified police officer in there, they can use the police team concept, and he's witnessed it, so then he can.
So that makes it
relay.
testimony and evidence you can use in the court case when you're prosecuting
Yes.
later, and,
Yes, sir.
and it holds up in court just by having that law. And plus, it's just probably good to, because at the end of the day, you're going to want, because whatever decisions come out of that hub is you want the law enforcement one to be the final shot on that in case of it. Normally yes we do, but we're going to let that one. You know what I'm saying? Just they can assess the situation in the emergency level of that moment better than maybe someone that's not trained to do those. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Whereas if you have a dispatcher or something, they can gather information, get information, share information, but assess it and determine what to do with that information. Maybe you want a law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Yes.
And so that allows for that. So that's cool. It makes sense. But I love that with this is the way of the future. I mean, this is going to be to a point where now. Do you think if we go, because you're talking about drones and the technology there, do you think we'll get to a point where every officer will have a drone literally in the back of their car sitting there with their other tools, and if they need to whip it out, just go, all right, well, let's go send this out in the field instead of sending a bunch of officers. I mean, is the future taking us that way?
Well, I think it already has.
Okay.
We already use drones to clear buildings on a high risk.
Gotcha. I just didn't know
search.
if it was as common where a drone is going to be like a gun is on their hip. There's going to be a drone in the trunk of their vehicle, kind of thing. Are we getting there where it's going to be like that?
Not for every officer, but I know in certain situations we are using drones.
I imagine it is expensive, but
Oh, yeah.
Well, 'cause
these aren't Radio Shack drone jobbers. These are a little more high tech.
Well, there's times you can't use it, and you can. So there's stipulations like there's Fourth Amendment laws and stuff. We can't, like with the Real Time Crime Center, we can't just put cameras in front of somebody's house.
Right. There's legalities,
yes.
but then I know but if it's in the public and if it's on the public, then there is no reasonable sense of privacy. Therefore, they're legal. I know it gets iffy on where you can and do that, but pretty much the standard is I think like, say if someone's just walking around the public with their smartphone going, you can't do a thing about that. That's perfectly legal. Yeah. Even if you don't like them doing it, there's well within their right. But you can't set up a camera, leave it there, and say, there's rules on how that goes.
Oh, yes. And there's rules. We can't just have somebody in the Real Time Crime Center watching certain people walking down the street.
So you can't profile.
You can't profile.
Is the
So
term.
it's
unless they give you something like, hey, that guy's looking shady. Let me, he just grabbed something. Let me see. I mean, short of that, follow them around for that. But you can't just pick a random person and follow them.
No, yeah.
But if you see them do something like steal something or something, and then you can follow them.
Well, the
They gotta give you a
reactionary
reason.
part is really what's going to help. If somebody commits a burglary in Enchanted Hills, we'll have cameras on stoplights on Sycamore and Second, and so we can a lot of times, get somebody leaving the area.
Absolutely, and I imagine too, it may make a dent in the biggest part of when you have burglaries and things is getting recovered property back.
Oh yes.
Usually that's the okay, we may got the person, but the chances of you getting whatever it is you got stolen aren't, depending on what it is, obviously. But this might maybe increase those odds a little bit here. I mean, cars and stuff sometimes do, but when your guns, stereos, things like that, sometimes they disappear, never to see them again. Or you might see them at an auction some year later where they were recovered from another case or something.
Yeah. Well, and we used that technology yesterday. We're looking for an armed robbery suspect out of Artesia.
Okay.
And supposedly armed and had information he was somewhere in the downtown area maybe, so we deployed our drone and started searching for him, and we ended up eventually finding him and taking him into custody. So
great. And
technology worked.
The beauty was no one was hurt.
Exactly.
And that's the great part about this stuff is it's nobody's hurt. Everybody goes and everyone lives to fight another day here, and that's the win for you as law enforcement. Whenever you guys come into and that's something I think we the public need to know when a police officer shows up at your home or at your office or wherever at the scene here. They're going to be coming in with first things first, making sure everything's safe and secure. And once that's established, then they'll start talking to you and sorting things out. But please remember, especially, and this is something I think all of us need to learn, and this is that relationship between law enforcement and the community is so important. And I got to be honest, I think we here in Southeast New Mexico, I think overall there's a good relationship with our law enforcement.
Oh, yes.
Like that. But I think some of the animosity is that lack of knowledge between what you guys do and what you know what I mean. And so if I think the public understands the mindset of an officer and why they do these things, then you don't come in all hot and bothered about it. You wonder, because if it's a ramped up situation where people are arguing, where tensions are up, officers are going to come in hot to de-escalate quick, and they're going to do whatever it is to put people in cuffs, to restrain people, whatever it takes to make sure no one's going to be hurting anybody. Once that's established, then you're going to see the switch flip a little bit. All right, let's talk. What's going on? And then you see the psychologist hat come on. Let's figure it out. And then from there, they can go, if we need to send some people away for the night, or we just need to tell everybody to calm down. Whatever we need to do, they go from there. But that's how law enforcement is going to handle that situation every single time. So if you understand that, if they come in guns blazing a little bit hot, it's because they don't know who's safe, what's safe. For their own safety, for your safety, we need to lock this down the safety side. Once that's established, then we can talk. And that's what happens. And so I think a lot of people would have a lot less problems if you just understood that, comply, be in the restraints, whatever the officer is asking you to do to stabilize that situation for the moment, comply. Because I guarantee once everything's stabilized, the cuffs will come off, you'll start talking, and you'll start acting like humans to each other. Mm-hmm. And so if we can remember that, I know it's hard, especially if you've already been fighting in a hot-head situation, but that's once you see the folks in the badge come up, that's what they're going to be doing every single time. And once that's established, then you're going to see the human side. But until they know that this situation's safe, it's going to be cackles up, on point, whatever protections are needed, we're going to have at the ready, kind of thing. Yeah. So if I'm wrong there, please tell me.
You're
But
absolutely
that's
right.
That's the mindset. And so once you do that, and it's all part of the training. It's all because when a law enforcement officer walks into one of these situations, they only know what dispatch was able to garner from information. Sometimes it's a lot of information. Sometimes it's not a lot of information. Sometimes it's a lot of information, but not enough information. And so this is why they really are flying blind in a lot of these situations, because the dispatchers do an amazing job of trying to de-escalate, gather information to give every officer that rolls in onto a scene as much knowledge of what they're about to roll into as possible. But it's just physically impossible sometimes. So until that's established, law enforcement will come in hot.
Oh, yeah.
Going to happen every time. So.
Yeah, and our officers go through a lot of de-escalation training, along with a lot of dealing with mentally ill.
Sure.
That's become a big thing in the last couple of years, especially. So we put a lot of our training focus on those two areas.
Yeah, and I know that there's been talks with the city and all this stuff where in counties and state where maybe there's going to be some changes on how we address some of that, where there might be some other people coming in to kind of help law enforcement deal with those situations where law enforcement is there to protect and serve, but maybe some of these other people can help you guys be the psychiatrists out there and de-escalate and solve problems. So I know that's all in the process, how we're doing it. I think everyone sees that this might be a good thing, how we execute it and how we do it, but specifically that's where we're kind of nailing details on. But this is some of the future stuff that you're going to see, where you might show up and hanging out with one of our boys and girls in blue is going to be one of these kind of social worker type, de-escalator type persons that can deal with the mental health side of some of these issues.
And even on the flip side, as far as with the public, and we also started the peer support program at the police department, because we're also dealing with some of the issues that we see every day.
Sure.
As officers. So I know we got the chaplains on board. We got 3 chaplains right now. One's fixing to leave, but they come in and hang out with the guys, maybe do some ride-alongs.
Sure.
We also have what's the courthouse dogs come in.
Oh yeah, the DA dogs.
Yes,
and
sir.
all that. Yeah, all, and that's making that connect and making because police officers, we're all people. Everybody's people.
Yes, sir.
And once we realize we're all people, despite what we got on our chest or don't have on our chest, and you're like, okay, it's you know what I mean. That's and this is something too. I always that I think we as families and everything else, and we need to and I know you guys do your part to do this to kind of foster this. But we as families, we need to, teach your kids when you see a person wearing a uniform, that's a place for information, resources, safety. Anytime you talk to someone in that's going to be a person of help. And so if you instill that young and that mindset, knowing that, so and make it, and that's why we have our Halloweens and all this, and you let the kids come and light the sirens and because we want the kids and them to see you guys in that light. So when they have to see you again in a different light, they come to you, running to you, and that's something that we as a community need to do. Teach your kids, teach your families, work with them, show them these are the people that when things don't go right in your community, these are the ones that are going to help you through that. And if we can just instill that at that age, I guarantee some of the vitriol that comes down later and will disappear. It's all part of we all have to do our part in every little bit. Obviously, law enforcement, you guys have gone through a really I'm going to say rebranding, but really just of how you guys do your training. And I'm sure when you guys were first bald-faced boys signing, what you were taught as a law enforcement officer is way different than what you guys are experiencing here as leadership in the RPD.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, a lot different. And I think going back on the kids growing up and stuff, we've expanded our school resource officer program. So we had 2, now we have 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a big thing. They do an awesome job in the schools, and it's teaching these kids from a young age that we're there to support them and help them.
Sure.
And
they're like buddies there in the campuses, the various campuses that they all kind of work at. They're looked at, again, like they're not teachers, but they're looked at in that same light as people to talk to. I mean, I imagine half your school officers, they're probably psychiatrists. Bobby's got a thing with so and so, and what do I do about that? And I bet half of them are telling them how to navigate that kind of stuff. I would bet my paycheck that's what they're doing in there.
Oh yeah, and they do. They go to a lot of the school activities, football games, and they interact with these young adults and even young children at the smaller schools, and they build that relationship to where they're comfortable around them, and it also helps us in the long run when you build that relationship. They're more apt to talk to a police officer about a crime they may have
saw
seen
something or witnessed something. They're going to be like, "Well, that's good people there. They need to know about this." And that's policing in a nutshell, folks. That's how it works. Is that relationships with the community and everything else, and looking at and that's the mindset that we, the public, you don't look at law enforcement as at need be. They're the ones that are going to protect and serve the law and make sure the law is being followed. That's at the end of the day, that is in the mission statement of what a police officer does. But there's so many levels to that, and that's where because we don't have to arrest and throw everybody in jail if we can just say, can you agree on this for a minute? And that's really what I'm going to take a guess. A typical shift for a law enforcement officer is that they're just going in, handling arguments, disputes, being referees, being just, all right, can we work this out here? And literally being just minor problem solvers. And, the part you see on TV, the part you see in the videos, that's this much of the job. Most of it is talking to people on a daily basis, sitting there, probably, when they're on a lunch break, they're sitting in there, and then there's someone talking to them, and they're just, hey, man, have you been doing this? Have you been keeping up with this? Mentoring and people in the public. And, that's the day-to-day of a law enforcement officer. So, that being said, kind of going back to the recruitment side of it, if you like that stuff, if you love talking to the public and being that kind of person that walks in the room and everyone looks to and says, you know what, that's a person I can trust. That's what this career is. And now you're going to have to earn that. You're going to have to learn it. You're going to have to earn the respect of the people you go. But you'll do that through your training and through your personality.
Yeah. It's like the chief says. Sometimes he thinks I'm a social butterfly. if you like being a social butterfly,
you got to.
You got to be.
Yeah, and the great part is I'm going to take a stab that when you have officers that are from here that live in the area and know the area, they're going to have a better ability to connect because they already got established relationships, friends, families. That being said, you'll take law enforcement officers, if they're qualified and meet the needs and do everything. They're not from here, no big deal. But I would imagine if you're from here and live here, that is going to be a bigger advantage to you as a law enforcement officer for the Roswell Police Department. And that is something that I'm going to say you two men probably would find attractive in hiring that person.
Well, if you're from here and this has been your community forever, you take I think, a little
Take
more
pride in it,
ownership
too.
and
Yeah.
pride.
Absolutely.
In
It's
in
my
that
town, man.
And it's the
Yeah.
same thing, with the fire department and police department. So most of the people in those organizations are hometown people. And,
And I think we get more recruitment from family members or friends. We have a lot of
law enforcement is a family business. You
Yes.
know, a lot of times, if mom or dad serve the children, are pretty good odds that they if they don't serve in that department, they serve some department. You know what I mean? They serve in the badge as well too. That's fire, same thing. All those guys. I mean, you can't watch a movie about firefighters and not be some family thing where grandpa is a firefighter and the kid's a firefighter and the grandkid's about to be a firefighter. Everyone firefighter movie is related.
And like we always say, when we talk to our younger officers, we're our best recruiters. When we're out there talking to the kids or talking to even adults at the coffee shop.
Sure.
If we're professional and polite and stuff, people will more often sign up for an organization when they see that than if you're not talkative.
It's good that our community still looks up to officers. There's always one in every, but we still live in a community where a police officer is sitting in a coffee shop or just whatever doing. People treat that respect and that, like you said, that awe of, hey, that's a pillar in our community, and that's so if you're interested in being a pillar, come be an RPD officer.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you. Let's talk to you. And let's start the ball rolling because and again, this isn't a job. This is a lifestyle. It's a career. Every single police officer I know, when they're off duty, they're still police officers. You know what I mean? That's just the life. And so be prepared for that. But at the same time, if you want to be that person that people like, people talk to, people and not. By the way, it's a brother and sisterhood. Police officers, as a person who's been in the military, I understand that the people that you work with at a police department, it's different than any other coworkers at any other establishment. These are literally people that are in the trench with you, and so it's more of a family mindset. And with that is the good and bad. They love hard and fight hard. Don't get me wrong. I bet there's some officers that it's just when you're that close, things happen. But at the end of the day, that breeds a common bond that those people go to war with each other.
Oh yeah,
literally, and they do it on a daily basis. And unless you've been involved with that or been a part of something like that, it's hard to explain it. And so, if you crave that belonging, a career as a law enforcement officer will offer that very much because of the nature of the work you guys do. Everybody's watching, everybody's six, and when you see someone's, because I'm going to take a stab, every single officer at one point or another. It's a wall. It's a moment of, this is a lot to handle, and that's when your brothers and sisters rally around you and help you navigate through that. And that's what this career is.
Oh, yeah.
It's very much of that. So that being said, if you want that sense of brotherhood, sisterhood, RPD can offer that too. So.
Oh, yeah.
But have the server's heart, because that's the end of the day.
That is, yeah.
Yeah. If folks are interested, just come on down to the police station here, or go. You can always go to the city's website to start the application process, roswell-nm.gov. But what? Obviously,
it's an online application.
Yeah.
You can do that, or you can call the recruitment office, which is the same number as the police department.
Okay.
And then talk to one of the recruiters, and maybe get the ball rolling that way as well.
And don't hesitate. You're having lunch or something, see an RPD sitting there, talk to them, ask them what's the day-to-day like on this thing. I'm interested. And I'm guarantee almost every single officer would love to. Now, if they're in the middle of doing their job, let them go. But if they're just, standing there, monitoring or maybe having a cup of coffee, they wouldn't mind you asking.
Yeah, Officer Kidd is our recruiting officer, and she does an excellent job. So they can.
You probably see her out and about. She's all over the place. So
yeah.
Much like many of the other officers.
Yeah, so she'd be happy to meet with anybody and tell them, what the job entails and the training entails and stuff, and help them out with the process.
It's like anything else in life. You're going to get out of it what you put into.
Oh yes.
And that's and if you put in your whole heart and soul into law enforcement, you're probably going to have a very rewarding career in law enforcement. And whatever you take it, you could be sitting here with the 4 stars or the 3 stars on your collar here in not a couple of years, but 10, 15 years. Gentlemen, is there anything we missed that you guys wanted to cover that we just got sidebarred on or anything like that?
No, I think, we've covered a lot of it. I just can't say how proud I am of the men and women at the police department. And, everybody talks about the police officers out on the street, but, it's a great team effort. The people behind the scenes, our admin assistants, our dispatchers.
Yeah, those people are godsends, every single one of them.
Our TSU, our technical services, which process the crime scenes, they're civilians. And without them, we'd be way behind the curve.
You'd be really lost.
They do an excellent job.
The property custodians,
it's a great team effort at our department, and super proud of everybody over there because we've done a great job. When I took this position 2 years ago, I didn't know what to expect. I'd worked with Roswell Police Department some from where I came with, but I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
They were far ahead of a lot of the agencies, even somewhat the agency I came from.
Nice.
So the training aspect of it, they do an excellent job. So I think it would not be good to go through it without thanking all those people that work for us, even on the behind the
there's
scenes.
not a single patrol officer that can do their job without that support system behind. None of it. It's all a team. It's all equal parts. And that's, like we talked about dispatching earlier and stuff, those folks, they can really make or break, how a scene goes down, and they do an excellent job of making sure it goes the right way every single time. So.
No, and I think when you get to my level and Deputy Chief Aldana's level, we probably have the easiest job per se. They do all the work. They're the ones that go out every day dealing with the calls, having to compile all the reports, doing all that stuff. So they're ones that keep this machine running.
I also look at it, yes, they handle the day to day, but you guys are sealing it for the next generation. Like 20 years from now, when these officers are sitting there, the impact you guys are doing right now is what they're going to see. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like the technology, the innovations, the training, the things that we're bringing in now, you're setting the table that like your guys' mark will be on those recruits going through now, and they're going to be sitting in your chairs here 15 years down the road.
It's an even split. We have to deal with the politicians.
Sure.
So that's
true.
That's
I was about to say, you got to deal with the part that no one likes in law enforcement. All the paperwork, the red tape, the unsexy part of you ain't seeing a Law and Order SVU with a couple of chiefs just sitting there doing paperwork for an hour.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you, and tell every single person there at RPD that we are so thankful for what they do and stay safe, and we just pray and just so glad that those guys are there watching our back while we're sleeping at night and going about our lives. These folks are the reason we can do it, and we're appreciative of it.
Thank you for having us.
Sir. All right, 9:57. Let's do this. Let's do news and a quick break before they kick me off the radio. Don't go away.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Sorello. An arrest in a cold case murder in Roswell. RPD says 36-year-old Matthew Trujillo is charged with the October 2009 killing of 30-year-old Stephen Dorham Jr. Dorham was gunned down near Walker Boulevard and Iman Street in South Roswell. Police have said that the two may have been arguing about drugs. Trujillo was identified as the suspect in the case at the time, but was only apprehended recently. He was already in custody for 3 other unrelated cases. The Roswell Police Department also requesting some help in locating 42-year-old Gabriel Jose Horton. Horton was reported to RPD as missing on Sunday. Family members reported not having seen or heard from Horton in as much as 3 weeks. Horton's clothing description is unknown. He is about 5'9" and weighs about 220 pounds. You can see his picture on the Roswell Police Facebook page. Anyone with information about the location of Gabriel Jose Horton is urged to call Roswell Police immediately. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
Hi, everyone. This is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture. I'm the 3rd generation in this legacy that began with hard work and bold dreams. From Grandpa's footprints in the concrete to floor tiles laid in the 50s by my dad, Bill. Every detail of this building is a testament to our pride in providing quality furniture and service to you. On your quest for making your home beautiful and comfortable, Come see us at Glenn's on the corner of Union and Alameda, where delivery is free since 1953.
At Richland Motors, it's never been easier to sell or trade your current car, truck, or SUV for a newer model to hit the road in. Even if you don't purchase from Richland, they want to buy your vehicle for top dollar. But if you do buy from Richland, don't forget, they're the home of the powertrain warranty for life. That's a whole lot of confidence for you. See Richland for details. 2nd and Sycamore and 1309 Southeast Main.
Your home for Kim Commando in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.